It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Guess what? Paris Martineau's not here. Aw, but Aunt Pruitt is. Yay! Also Jeff Jarvis and a special visitor from Pigeon Park. Amazon spent $1 billion for Twitch in 2014, and it's still not making money. Microsoft spent $19 billion in the last 3 months trying to make AI work, and it's still not making money. We'll also talk about the Senate passing one of the worst bills ever. We're so depressed. That and some cheerful stuff, too, coming up on This Week in Google.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 779, recorded Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. White friend in a box. It's time for This Week in Google, a show we cover everything but Google. And we're going to do it this time with Aunt Pruitt in the house. He is now an Oregon Duckster.
Yes.
It's great to see
Go
you.
Ducks.
Photographer, model, creator for hire.
That is me.
AntPruitt.com/.
Emphasis on hire him. He's brilliant.
Hire- oh,
he's
he's
wonderful.
really-
He's
really
beautiful.
We had Jason
He's
Heiner
talented.
on Sunday. You're still working for them a
I
little
saw
bit?
he was
at
on
ZDNet.
Sunday.
I see your name on the masthead there. That's good.
Yes, sir. I'm actually working on a piece right now that'll probably be out Friday. There's a little camera I've been playing with.
Well, I got a little something I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to do a little unboxing, but first, let's also say hello to this man right here.
Oh, you've been cleaning out. You've been cleaning out the files, haven't you?
I think this one's maybe not going to make it to the attic studio, Jeff.
You bought it. You paid for it.
Yeah.
The high value.
We're talking about a headshot of Jeff
The best
in his
headshot
younger
ever.
days when he was editor-in-chief.
When he was the
founding,
most eligible bachelor in San Francisco.
most eligible bachelor in
By
San
then I was
Francisco.
married.
Founding managing editor of Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I should keep this with me.
You should. You should.
Yeah. I mean, geez, man. You know.
Now he's merely the
great.
emeritus Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. That's the one we framed. This is the reject that we didn't frame. It's you, you and some other guy,
Wow.
Michael Klingensmith.
Klingensmith. I
guess
thought
I
we had
could keep
emeritus
this 'cause
pop
it
up on the
folds up.
screen.
Yeah, we did. Did you see
I
it?
didn't see it this time.
Oh, maybe they, we're trying new things.
That's on the new system, man.
The new system.
Oh, it's on the new system.
on the new system.
Okay.
Oh, this is from the Houston Chronicle Library.
'Cause, yes, I
didn't
still
notice
watch.
that.
Well, I feel bad that I got rejected from there.
The Houston Chronicle decided,
I'm
we're
no
never
longer
going to
part
run
of
a
his-
story about these two. we could sell this on eBay. That's hysterical. February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1990.
Oh, my goodness.
Houston Chronicle Library. Wow.
Well,
That's cool. So, Amazon now is admitting, according to the Wall Street Journal, they may have lost as much as $25 billion
Ouch.
on Amazon's Echo. And
how do you lose that much money? Stop right there, just if I may. I don't understand how you lose money on it. It's because you're losing money on every one you sell. It's not on what you actually provide as a
I
service.
guess so. I mean, they were kind of giving them away for a while.
It's like they
selling
were
money-
giving them away, but what
low
about
cost.
developer costs, too?
Yeah, and
it
bandwidth.
can't be billions of dollars
service.
for developers.
According to the Wall Street Journal, $25 billion over the whatever it is, 10 years that they. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But and Microsoft just revealed in its quarterly results that last quarter, 3 months, they spent $19 billion on AI.
That's not a surprise, though. Everybody's riding that AI horse, though, right?
I guess they figure. I mean, look, they got the money, right? They made like $24 billion. So
Yeah.
that's what Richard Campbell said.
I-
What are they going to do? Buy CDs? They're going to use it for something.
I was talking to Jason today, and for all the excitement about chat interfaces, the only known chat interfaces that existed before have been a flop,
Right.
Yeah.
right? every one of them, nobody wants to use or uses.
You're talking
Granted,
about
it's different.
Echo,
You can also
Siri,
Echo, Siri,
and Google Voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced. Maybe it's nice because we have a real person on the show again. I should ask the real person.
Sure.
Do you think it would be improvement to have Siri or Google Voice or Echo be a chat assistant?
No.
It would be Gabby.
Not at all. Don't want all of that.
Nobody wants that.
It already gets in the way of just doing my regular search stuff in the browser.
Yeah.
So no, I don't need all of the extra bells and whistles. And
the real person has spoken.
Yeah, these tech companies are all in on AI and sure, have at it, but I don't think regular folks I just don't think regular folks care about it that much.
Speaking on behalf of all regular folks, as he should, as he is licensed to do.
Yes.
Damn right I am.
He's regular folk.
Also known as everyday people.
Everyday people. That's a song, wasn't it? So also now we're learning Amazon. I don't know how Amazon survives. They paid almost $1 billion for Twitch. Remember Twitch.tv in 2014? And it's never made them any money. It's still losing money. Benito,
that is surprising.
Benito, you worked there before Amazon?
I worked there during Amazon.
During Amazon. Yeah. Are you surprised that they have never made money?
Oh, not at all. I think the play here for Amazon was really to own a slice of culture and not so much to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's what they say about things like Prime TV and Apple TV and stuff like that, is that it doesn't have to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
The
more
main
about
business
having
makes
people,
money. Yeah.
Amazon stock is up 2.9% today.
See? Doesn't hurt the stock. Insiders at Twitch say they worry that they're becoming what they call a zombie brand at Amazon. Internal projects or acquisitions that have been sidelined because they haven't lived up to expectations.
That happens all the time.
Is that what happened with the likes of Waze and Google? Is Waze pretty much a zombie too?
Although, every time I say that, I hear from chat room and listeners who love it and use it still every single day.
I still hear people talk about it.
And honestly, I think that it's important to Google in the sense that because I now see in my Google Maps, red light camera ahead, or
all the stuff that was in Waze, right? Yeah.
So, and that's got to be coming from Waze. You don't have any habit in Google Maps of telling people that.
Right.
You can, but I don't think anybody does it. So, they say Goodreads is an example of a zombie brand at Amazon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them too.
I love Goodreads. It was very sad. It's still there, but yeah. Online Task Finder, the Mechanical Turk. Remember that? But it was real humans, though, right? And discount website Woot.
I definitely can't forget about Woot, considering they email me about every 2 hours.
John buys stuff on Woot all the time, right? Do you still buy stuff on Woot? No, not anymore. You don't want the best of tools and lawn and garden? The daily deals? Look, you can get an Echo Show for $59.99.
Oh, my gosh.
Is that they pay me $59.99? Because that's the only way I would consider
What
that.
did John used to buy there?
I don't know. I feel like John used to get stuff at Woot.
T-shirts.
Long time ago. T-shirts. Long time ago. But I've known John a long time. Long time. By the way, John's last show with us will be 1 week from today on This Week in Google.
Oh.
Jammer B. You're happy, right? You're voluntarily retiring. We're not forcing you out.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. I'm excited.
He's retired once before from Cal State Los Angeles, and now he's
got practice.
He retired 15 years ago.
I know the feeling, Jammer B.
He's their studio manager emeritus. You're emeritus now. Congratulations.
This is hilarious.
What's he got?
I got my Discover Pass. I got my Lifetime Senior.
America the Beautiful Senior Lifetime Pass to our national parks. That is so sweet. And the Discover Pass means you can drive your car into it.
That's Washington State.
The
state parks.
Wow. Is it bad to show this?
Jammer B.
Show the number.
I start getting my my Social Security next month.
You decided to finally take it, huh?
I'm doing it.
While it still exists.
Maybe you'll get yourself a pancake machine.
While it still exists.
use all that extra money. Did you see that last week?
That was hilarious. I'm trying to figure out where does the batter go, like off hours? what's the point?
It just
If you
seems
got to
so
make
weird.
the batter, just throw it in a
It's a
pan.
bag of batter.
You got all the money in the world, and what do? You buy a pancake machine. Well, I guess that's not.
Wouldn't you?
Hey, I guess.
Wouldn't you?
I guess that's
Yeah.
just another man's simple pleasures. I'll just
Wait a
leave
minute.
it at
Wait.
that.
I'm hearing something. Coming in from somewhere in Pigeon Park. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my.
He's up in the gear.
Oh,
Craig Newmark. How you doing, Craig? You want to set the record straight, I understand.
Yeah, correct me, please.
On the
I screwed
pancake
up last
machine.
week.
I own no pancake machines. I just think of how tough they'd be to clean. Plus, Mrs. Newmark makes better.
That's the
Pancake
truth.
machines are in airport lounges, and the first thing I do is push the start button even before I put my luggage down.
because he's got priorities.
You do it for the food or you do it for the fun?
Food, fun, and to remind myself that I have the tastes of a peasant. I was raised that way in a neighborhood with junkyards.
Yes.
Wow.
I may be a peasant with money now, but I'm a peasant.
This is everyday people right here.
You
That's what I'm
never,
talking about.
you can take the boy out of the junkyard, but you can't take the pancake machine out of the boy, I guess, or something.
So you spend, I think, too much time in Alaskan Air lounges.
Apparently.
Considering how often you have marked in social. I thought it was so often it had to be at home.
I've been traveling back and forth more than you think between New York and San Francisco. In New York now, but the deal is that, the lounge is a nice indulgence. Like private jets are out of the question, but free pancakes, not bad. But again, I commit to the statement that Mrs. Newmark makes better pancakes than the machine does.
I honestly would hope so. These are disgusting looking.
That's horrible.
Well, they're pretty good. I've had them too.
Are you saying, Craig, they're better than you would expect, but not as good as Mrs. Newmark's?
They are considerably better than you'd expect. They seem to be sanitary.
Well, they are. They're
there's some
touchless.
things you just
Yes.
want to know.
Seem to be, he says. Seems.
How many do you have at a sitting?
Generally 2, sometimes more. As you see, I'm very efficient, and I pre-syrup the plate before the pancakes drop.
I respect
But
that game.
I'm anal enough that I actually get upset that you see it's a little off there. It's a little off, Craig.
Free syrups.
Your target
that like
practice there could have been
pre-gaming if you
better.
I respect that. I have to try that. I've never even thought about that. All right, Queen Pruitt, tomorrow we got pancakes, pre-syrup in the plates.
Oh,
Now, Craig, I guess really it does beg the question, maybe you don't have it in the kitchen, but you could have it in your office or something, just in case you had a craving for pancakes.
If I did that, then the pigeons would get to it first.
Just don't confuse it with the shredder. Is that
How
what you're saying?
how are the? By the way, I share your fascination with how these things work. There are kind of an amazing scientific achievement.
genius.
It's a genius invention. Craig is now we're looking at Craig's Insta. He's Craig Newmark on Instagram, and he's got close-ups of the insides.
he's following the pancake.
The
along
world famous
the
pancake
Jarvis.
printer from Alaska Airlines. My favorite one was the very sad one of the pancake machine all closed up for the night. No access to the pancakes. That was
Craig said.
tragic, very tragic. How are the
they do have
pigeons
to
these days, by the way? Are they doing well?
The pigeons are well. We saw a Ghostface killer this morning, and although I was surprised, there were a couple rivals for his. He's boss of the pecking order, and we thought Scarface and Big Face were in a shallow grave someplace.
Oh, wow.
But I saw
It being New York, they were sleeping with the fishes.
When you say Ghostface Killer, it's not a euphemism. He might well be. Oh, wow.
Well, he's tougher than I am, but apparently I saw Scarface in front of the coffee shop today.
Oh, thank God.
And apparently Scarface was exiled. For a moment, I thought it might have been a vision from Pigeon Heaven.
But
apparently
you saw
he was
Scarface
there.
outside your home, out in the wild?
Outside of Joe's Coffee in the village. So I was pretty glad to see him because, again, I didn't want it to be a seance.
A pigeon seance is kind of a pathetic event, I must say.
How many regular pigeons do you have? I mean, it's a regular cast of characters in your atrium there.
If you're
right?
here,
or do you find new ones
peck
all the
the
time?
corn. I don't know. Hit the table.
Well, there's only a limited number that are visibly distinct. Pigeons mostly look the same, like the big.
They say the same thing
idol.
about us, but yes.
That's
I wasn't going to go there. But
There's a big pigeon idol going up on the High Line, and it conforms to the pigeon ideal.
The platonic ideal of a pigeon, a perfect pigeon on the High Line. Craig does. People, of course, know who Craig Newmark is. Craigslist. You ever hear of that? And his philanthropies are at craignewmarkphilanthropies.org. That's a sweet shot of you, Craig.
Love
Such
that.
a cute shot.
Love that shot.
It says, I'm an old school nerd helping to protect people, protect our country. And the donations that you have given, not just to pigeon rescue, but to journalism. You gave another $10 million to CUNY earlier this year. Well done. That's really great. And in fact, I don't think Jeff would have had a job if it weren't for you.
You might be able to hear me. Someone just tried calling me and it knocked Zoom off the air.
No, we hear you.
No, we got you.
Oh, we hear you.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. We're going to let Craig push some buttons here. Other donations, $1 million to help military-connected families. Late last year, that was after the Lahaina fires. This is Craig, you are in every way kind of what we hope successful people become in this country, and what unfortunately so rarely successful people become in this country. So thank you for being a mensch.
That's nice to hear. It's flattering, but on a gut level, I don't really understand it because I don't understand the need to buy lots of houses, jets, and all that. I just don't get it. But remember, I really do have the tastes of a peasant, just one that hasn't lost his mind.
You know what's interesting, and I don't know if people know this, before you started Craigslist, you actually were studying artificial intelligence, weren't you? You wanted to do LLMs.
Well, you'd have to go back in time about 20 years before that.
Oh, wow.
In 73 in college, I thought neural networks were the way that we could understand natural language. There was a great book by Terry Winograd, which I
remember that, yes.
started getting into, but I realized two things. It was too hard for me, and I wanted a job someday. And now, of course, it's a great job field, but I lost track of what was happening. Well, and that's just as well.
That was kind of in one of the AI winters in the early 70s. And so it made sense that, well, there's no future here. And, probably you're right. But are you surprised by the progress it's made now? Or where do you stand on what's happening with AI today?
I'm shocked and fascinated by the progress in generative AI. My concerns are safety, particularly for kids. That's why I support the work that Common Sense Media is doing, particularly rating AI sites. My concerns are like AIs are now being trained on the output of other generative AI systems, plus a number of them are trained using sources which they know are full of misinformation.
Oof. Yeah.
I've never asked you this, Craig. Does generative AI cause new kinds of cybersecurity issues?
People talk about generative AI being used to both attack systems and to defend systems, but I haven't heard much specific about either of those. So I'm trying to focus on problems in the here and now. For example, right now, our whole country and most of the world relies on computers to run infrastructure like water, power, hospitals. Many of them are poorly defended and already compromised. So I'm already engaging people and funding people who can help defend the country. Not ready to announce much of anything, but I'll be at the Cybersecurity Summit run by Aspen Institute and others. That's September 18th.
Nice.
I mean, that's just, again, I want to just say it's so refreshing to see somebody like you who remains humble, remains true to your roots, and tries to do good in the world instead of trying to use your fortune to influence our politics, our information ecosystem in a way that's good for your pocketbook. And that seems to be, not everybody, but it seems to be lately pretty common in Silicon Valley and along Sand Hill Road. So
it's all about exit strategy.
Yeah, and you know, what can we do to get our side some more money? Like you need more money.
Right.
When did you move to San Francisco, Craig?
I moved in 93, and I spent nearly 30 years there.
So what changes? How is it different today than it was then?
Well, by then, the older, I guess, bohemian spirit had faded. Mm-hmm. I had read Tales of the City.
Oh, what a
and
great
didn't
book.
expect it to be like that anymore. But that had completely faded. Now, the people who want to use the internet to make things better for everyone are still around. But now, now maybe the whole thing is dominated by people who just feel that they need a great return on investment and figure that their duty is to return value to shareholders. That's actually based on a misinterpretation of Delaware law and the opinions of Milton Friedman.
What should CEOs be focusing on if not returning value to stakeholders?
Well, acts have consequences, and we should try to figure out what might happen and do something about that. And we need to focus on real problems. Some of the real problems I'm focusing on, again, have to do with threats to our infrastructure. You know, I've read science fiction all my life. A lot of it is dystopian, and it talks about what happens when our supply chains fail, like for food and water. Mm-hmm. I'm also focusing on, treating the people well who would defend us all. So I'm doing a lot for military families and vets. I need to renew that focus because the resources I've devoted are getting exhausted relatively quickly. I thought they would last till 2026 sometime, but it's faster than I thought, and I have to make some decisions soon. One of those decisions will be announced at the Cybersecurity Summit. I'm sorry, I meant the Cyber Civil Defense Summit. My model is civil defense in the 50s, but also like World War II, when we were all called on to help the country in whatever way we could.
Are you organizing this event yourself?
No, I'm building a network, or I could say I've built a network, which I'm expanding, which does all this stuff. I mean, this requires people who are a lot smarter than me and who have what they call social skills. And
what's that?
I can fake that. Well, I can fake them, but I really am a 1950s nerd, and that's reflected in so much that I do.
I like it. We love the 1950s nerds. So this event was last month at the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. Good choice. Are there going to be more? Is this the last one? Is this the first one?
Well, that's one of them. There's going to be a renewal of this, something very similar in mid-September.
Oh, good.
The idea is a lot of people are doing a lot of good work, a lot of nonprofits, a lot of volunteers working with people in government. And we just need to get our act together as a group of organizations and as a country. The World War II thing is for real. We were expected all to play a role in World War II,
right,
to do what we can. And I wasn't alive then, although I do complain in that manner. But my dad fought in the Pacific behind a desk like I do. My mom learned accounting so she could replace the accountant who had, I guess, picked up a gun and gone overseas to fight. And in the 50s, this kind of thing was expected of us. And that's when I was raised. I don't want to frighten anyone, but I'm actually older than Jeff.
No, you're not.
No way.
That's not possible.
As the kids' neighbors remind me, I'm 71 and a half.
You are older than Jeff. Wow, you look great, Craig. Well, maybe it's just by comparison.
I do, don't I?
It's all
yeah.
Well, that's
Cacio Pepe. Cacio Pepe.
No, we're just teasing Jeff. He looks good too. But I'm impressed. I did not realize that you were that old, Craig. I'm just very grateful to what you've done. You get maybe a little heat for Craigslist hurting newspapers. Obviously, that's not the case. We know better. I love what you've done to support journalism.
Yeah.
And I know Jeff very much appreciates what you've done. And we thank Jeff for bringing you in. And I agree. Maybe we should get back to what was now considered kind of an old-fashioned patriotism, where instead of working for ourselves, we work for our country and for our fellow men and women.
Yeah. I feel that Vietnam kind of messed up the word and the idea of patriotism. I still have to work to get over that. And I think as a country, we got to get over that. Mm-hmm. And we have to find ways to enlist everyone in the country, basically.
I agree. Maybe with a compulsory service of some kind, not necessarily military service, but I feel like we need to get back to that kind of notion of serving.
Serve
each other. Yeah. And being a part of a society instead of just looking out for number one.
I'm maybe more pragmatic in the sense that I'm working with Blue Star Families and also the Bob Woodruff Foundation on basics like military families don't get the compensation they need for good housing, good food, childcare,
medical care.
And military families,
man, their medical care.
They
is
just
horrid.
they just get relocated way too often. And when you're moved to another area, you don't know anyone.
Right.
You don't know the schools. You don't know childcare. The military spouse needs a job, and this is really tough. So I'm supporting people who are smarter than me about it, and mostly what I do is repeat what they say.
Like a smart person.
Craig always, he made the mistake of coming out to me, but other than that, Craig does a good job of going and finding people who know about the topics that matter to him.
Yeah.
And reaches out to them regularly and asks them questions about, what to think about things. And there's a mailing list of all the people that Craig has contributed to and brought together, and it's a phenomenal network that cut across all these interests. And there's a lot of stuff that roils around there of new things people are doing, and it's kind of wonderful to see. Which makes me ask, Craig, did you have anything to do behind the giant pigeon going on the High Line, which I put in the Discord?
I wish I had.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I can't take any credit, but I, for one, welcome our pigeon overlords.
This is the oh god
no, that's not that.
Oh, not that. Okay, that's the giant pigeon poop crank.
It's a nice pigeon
prank. There you go. Oh, that's a beautiful platonic pigeon on the way to the Lincoln Tunnel Expressway. That's
great photo.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
you can hear him.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
how did you get so interested
out here frequently?
How did that come about? Is it because you moved to the city, or?
The giant pigeon, nothing to do with me, but I love birds, and I do have a sense of humor, and the pigeons here do have personality, and I actually do support pigeon rescue. particularly a group called Palomacy in the Bay Area and Wild Bird Fund in New York. They both do a really good job. However, I think the idea of me adopting a couple pigeons has been vetoed by Mrs. Newmark.
Now, the last time we talked,
eat the pancakes.
last time we talked, Craig, you were studying stand-up comedy. How is that going?
Oh, that's right.
I'm very committed to keeping my day job. I know that I'm not as funny as I think I am, and I do ask my nonprofit grantees to tolerate my sense of humor while never encouraging me, which is a pretty tough balance.
I wish to encourage you right now. You want to try a bit out on us?
Do you have a solid 3 minutes? Do you have a solid 3 minute set?
No,
you don't.
I do reflect on what's going on with the world and my life, realizing that I could only be a successful spokesman of any sort if I acquired what the kids call Riz.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
And
I'm still trying to
my
figure
advisors advisors tell me.
But is Craig Brat? I would say Craig Brat.
I aspire to brat, but I'm told my chances of Riz are much greater, and this is per advisors, if I were to start dating Taylor Swift.
That would help your Riz.
Oh, boy.
Definitely.
Yes, it would.
But I vetoed that, knowing that Mrs. Newmark would immediately veto that.
She has things to say about that.
That's even
as well.
worse than having a pigeon for a pet. Craig, it's an honor, as always, to talk to you. We love talking to you. We really appreciate you taking the time to set the record straight on the great pancake machine fiasco, and we wish you all the best. You're doing such good work. People should go to craignewmarkphilanthropies.org to find out more. And is there a way for people to get involved? Are you looking for volunteers or?
Well, at some point, as part of cyber civil defense, I think we're going to ask people to do reasonable things they can to protect themselves, like move to passkeys and single sign-on.
Love it. We always
also protect the DNS.
Yeah.
But the hard part will be where we ask everyone to respectfully remind their bosses and the people who run utilities that they need to both protect those utilities better and to prepare for resiliency. And that may cause a lot of extra work for a lot of people who work too hard already. And I guess, they can blame me.
Well, and we're with you on that, and we talk about it all the time. And if there's anything we can do here on TWiT to help you with that cause, we would be glad to.
Yeah, because it's the right audience here.
This is the audience, and we certainly do talk about that all the time. I mean, that's a core part of our mission, I think.
The time is coming.
Yep. Craig, bless you. Craig Newmark, Philanthropies.org.
Thank you, friend.
Take care, Mr. Craig.
Great to see you. Thank you, Craig.
Say hello to Ghostface.
Thanks, folks. I appreciate it.
Stay away from Ghostface Killer. He's a killer. Take care. Craig Newmark, everybody.
The crowd goes.
We actually got requests for jokes from you, Craig. One of our staff members said, get him to tell you a joke. Please, we beg of you. Thanks, Craig. Take care.
Outstanding.
Before we go on, I have an unboxing to do. A little something. Just came in the mail, and I want to show you that.
Is it your friend?
Is it my friend? Yes. I have my friends mailed to me in
box.
boxes. Yes. That's exactly right. No, it's not my friend. My little friend. Say hello to my little friend. But first, I want to take a little break. It's really nice to have Aunt Pruitt in studio with us.
Thank you for having
Jeff
me.
Jarvis here. Paris has the day off. Unfortunately, I'm sure Paris is going to be a little verklempt that she couldn't be here for Craig.
But yeah, take that, Paris.
Indeed. See? No days off. No days off allowed. Our show today brought to you by BetterHelp. I know this is something Craig could get behind as well, which is getting some input into you to make your life better. Is that a good way to put it? What are your self-care non-negotiables? I know for Aunt, never skip a leg day, right?
Chest day. Chest day. Get it right now. Chest day.
You'll be very proud of me, Aunt. I actually now do the cold plunge But I have to get really hot first, so I get steamed up.
Yes, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and then I love it. So it's little things like that. When your schedule is packed with, work, kids' activities, projects, it's really easy to let those mental health days slip. Even when you know what makes you happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy become even more important than ever. I cannot tell you how valuable it is to have somebody to talk to say, am I nuts? Is this real? How I feel this way? And have some really responsible, intelligent, helpful person help you through it. If you're thinking of starting therapy, I've got a really good way for you to do it. A lot of people embarrassed, perhaps, to even make that call or to look around, or even to check the internet for a therapist. Maybe you're worried about the costs. Maybe you're worried about making time for it. BetterHelp is here and is really the solution. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, completely flexible, suited to your schedule. Nothing to be embarrassed about. You're going to talk to really quality people who care about you and your mental health. All you have to do is fill out a little questionnaire, just enough to get you matched with a licensed therapist. Now, I want to give you this advice because I really believe it myself. You don't have to stick with that first person. You can if you say, "Wow, we're clicking. I'm getting great information." So you can, but it's okay to shop around as well. No therapist will mind that, and BetterHelp makes it easy. There's no additional charge to switch around. So you really want to find that right person. Now, once you find the right person, it's great because then you've got a partner. And it's one low flat fee for both live sessions as well as messaging. Very, very convenient. Never skip a therapy day. Get BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Visit BetterHelp.com/twig today to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp, HELP.com/twig. I'm a big believer in this. And I also know how hard it is for people to kind of say, yeah, maybe I want to talk to somebody. Once you do, you're going to go, wow, why did I put this off? BetterHelp.com/twig. You're nodding. You agree?
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
The Pruitt family, we take mental health very important. Seriously.
Especially with young people, I think today. It's been a very hard few years with COVID, all the weirdness going on in politics, climate change. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stress to be a young person today.
Very
and
stressful.
I think that's one way you can help them get through this is to get them a little mental health help. I have in my hands my Galaxy Z Flip, the folding phone. The folding phone is here. I thought I would skip this one, but then Samsung said, if you send in your old Galaxy Z Flip 5, it's going to cost you a couple of $100. I said, well, I could keep doing that for a while.
Yeah.
What the heck? So here it is. I saved it for you.
Phone.
It looks like a phone. Well, what's cool is on this side, it does look like a phone, right? Unfolded, that looks just like a...
Move it around.
Wow.
If I get it just right, you can see...
Yeah, you can see it.
Right there.
It's not bad.
Where it's going to fold. Let me make sure I don't have anything hindering the fold. Look how pretty that is. But you see it folds like that. And this is what I like about this compared to other folding phones. It's small enough to fit right here in my pocket. I can just slip it into my coat pocket.
What was that, old man?
Do you not have pockets? He's wearing a T-shirt. Doesn't have pockets.
Who in the world has pockets on their chest, man?
Jeff, do you have a pocket on your chest?
That's where the cigarettes go in.
And the pocket watch. Don't forget the pocket watch. I have two pockets on my... this shirt doesn't have pockets.
And where do you put a pocket protector if you don't have a pocket?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I feel like...
when Craig generously gave his endowment to the school, we had Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism pocket protectors.
I love that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we used to have TWiT pocket protectors. And it was really fun. ZDTV pocket protectors. Booting it up. Now, I'm going to notice it boots up. There's two screens. So, and that's one of the things that's cool about this. Yeah. You can even set it like on a desk and make a phone call like this. I think that's kind of cool. And I'm going to let you.
What does that screen do to the battery on these things?
They're fine. It's good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't ever have a problem with that. Easy setup with another device. Oh, I don't have my Pixel 6 here, so
It's pretty cool to see where these foldable devices have come over the years.
You can fold it up a little bit and just see.
Mr. Jarvis asked about the crease. That's the first thing you asked about, and that's the last thing on my mind because it seems like they've addressed that.
It's not as bad as it was. It's visible, but you have to look for it.
I mean, you really have to look for it.
Yeah.
I don't see it now, and I just barely feel it there.
That was the other thing I in the past have not liked about these is the rubbery texture of the screen because it is a folding screen. It doesn't feel like glass.
No,
but it's not bad. They've gotten much better, I think.
This is that hinge is secure, but the back screen there, I totally dig that and being able to just look at stuff really quickly.
So even the last year's, and I had the Fold 4, I think, a couple of years ago. I was always concerned about durability. In the more recent years, have not had a problem. I think I had a Galaxy Fold 3 that the screen protectors kind of started coming up, and I peeled it off. And then I read,
that.
"Oh, you should never
don't do that.
do that." I went, "Oh, whoops."
Well, that was Samsung's fault. It looked like a screen protector. It didn't look like something that was supposed to be there.
You're not tempted to peel anything off.
No, not at all. This feels nice, man. I sort of hate saying it, but the way they designed these bezels, it just sort of looks like the old school iPhone 4 to me. But look how thin it is too, right? Doesn't it? It does feel like it's very thin. You have a Samsung. No, this is a Pixel. Let me compare it.
Oh, yeah, I have a Google Pixel. Okay, it's about the same.
Pretty.
Screen size a little smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
That's not bad, dude.
Well, I'll give you a more long-term report, but I thought, well, we should give this a try. Pixel, of course, the new Pixel's just about out, and of course, there's nothing we don't know about it already, which is hysterical.
I'm glad to see that you all have embraced my theory that Google is finally just leaking this stuff themselves.
Yeah.
I kept telling everybody that
you
for
were
years.
Right. Okay.
Now that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
You were right.
I am done.
I think they figured, well, we're not going to, Apple makes a lot of hay by not telling anybody and they get all this, all the speculation for months.
Do they?
Don't they?
Yeah, it's a good point, Ann.
I think that's died down too. I mean,
I don't see people sleeping overnight.
No, nobody goes to the line. They barely watch the keynote now. People watch the keynote on the rerun the next day.
Yeah.
Normal people.
But Ant, it's almost fall. The new Oldsmobile line will be out.
You mean the Delta 88 or the 98? Which one?
Do you wait?
Did you wait? 99 this year. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, I do. Now, this is where I really feel old, and I know you'll remember this, Jeff. But September was when the new TV shows came out.
TV show? Well, hey, if I had to delay my honeymoon because it was the fall. Because I was a TV critic.
And you had to see, and
of course.
You didn't now, and that was before videotapes. So you really, did they preview these to you? Do you have?
No, I got videotapes.
Oh,
but I got 3/4-inch videotapes.
Oh,
they were
huge.
mountains.
They're pneumatics.
Mountains.
Oh,
wow!
I can't wait to find out who shot JR.
That's right.
That's right. Patrick Delahanty, our engineer,
Dallas?
said that. That was Dallas. Yeah. And didn't it? Now, I think it's okay to say this now. It's not a spoiler anymore.
Not anymore.
It turned out to be a dream, right? That was the biggest letdown ever.
Yeah. I don't remember.
They spent a whole season. The whole season. Who shot JR?
They couldn't dig themselves out of the hole. It was a plot hole they couldn't get out of, so they just made it. They just screw it.
Oh, it didn't happen. That is one of the cheesiest outs.
Which, of course, then became the greatest gag ever from Bob Newhart.
Oh yeah,
rest in
peace.
All whatever years was a dream, right?
Right. It was brilliant.
He was in the shower, as I remember.
Newhart was
right
in Dallas, yes.
In Dallas, and Bob Newhart it was at the end of his
the New England show.
Newhart.
The New England show.
Newhart,
where he had the
was
hotel.
The dream.
That was
yeah.
Here it is from 1990. It's going to get us taken down, isn't it? There they are in the hotel. He's yelling. He got hit by a golf ball. He passes out.
This show was so good.
It was,
man.
you know what?
It was.
He
He's
will be
so
missed.
good.
He
God
was
rest
a
him.
wonderful, God rest his soul, a wonderful talent. Never worked blue.
Oh man, they played this out.
It's a long,
He's falling down.
long way down. And then he wakes up, and they go, "Hi, Bob." I forgot about that. Thank you, TV critic Jeff Jarvis.
Such a great show.
Now back to the Pixel.
No, the flip. Or,
we did the flip.
Okay.
I just put it in my pocket.
Okay.
My front pocket.
Jeez, old man.
I put it right there. I can't. How do you live without a breast pocket?
Actually, I've changed my tune slightly. I did get a fanny pack that I wear across my chest.
So awful.
Oh no!
That's the worst.
I only do that when I'm shooting.
No, he's old now.
I only do that when I'm shooting because I'll need.
Photographers are allowed to wear anything.
I'll need a battery or I'll need a new car.
No, he's going to star in that insurance commercial.
Insurance commercial
for fanny packs.
No, for the one where when people buy a house, they turn into their parents.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's a great.
Aunt turned into my parents a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
Yeah.
Aunt's surprising. It's so funny. You expect something, and then he really, he's dad.
I'm an old dude.
Dad. He's an old dad.
I'm an old dude.
Anyway, this from Ben Schoon, 9 to 5 Google. And this was just a couple of days ago. Almost everything we already know about the Google Pixel 9 series. It's only 2 weeks away from the event. Jeff, you're going to join me for that Tuesday.
Yes, I am. And I might actually buy this one because my battery is shot in my 6. So.
Well, it's funny because I was going to, and then I thought, no, this year I'm going to flip. Back and forth, right? Every year. So you'll do the Pixel. You should get a new one.
I think you made the right choice.
I kind of think this is cool.
I think you made the right choice.
Even if you don't have a breast pocket.
The other thing I'm thinking about getting, I wonder if they're going to announce anything new.
Yeah.
Is I got attacked by somebody last week online and it upset me and my heart went and I think after a week it's finally better. All of which is to say, because I'm an AFibber, I'm thinking about getting the Google Watch. Because it checks that, right? Have you guys had any? You have the Apple Watch. Does it do a good job of checking your heart, or you don't care because your heart's fine?
I'm on the Pixel Watch 2. I don't know if the 2 does that.
Yeah,
Apple did, but I don't know if the Pixel one did that.
I thought it did.
Scooter X.
Why do you ask Scooter X?
He would know.
He's the king of Google.
He knows everything.
Google it.
He would know.
So the base Pixel 9 will be 6.3 inches in 4 colors. Here's the thing. It's a little disappointing. It's really kind of the same camera.
Shocking.
Setup as a Pixel 8. It's a Tensor G4, only 12 gigs of RAM. Matte rails and a glossy glass back, set to be the cheapest at 8. Now, this is, I guess, the European pricing, 899 euros. The U.S. pricing has not leaked, but that probably means about $5.99 to $7.99 in American dollars, in greenback dollars.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, about $100 more than the Pixel 8 for the base model. Then there's the Pro and the Pro XL, which is what you kind of, I think, mostly want, right?
Yeah.
They run on the same Tensor G4 chip, but have 16 gigs of RAM, which is kind of the largest yet on the Pixels.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
And 9 to 5 Google says it's a new minimum for the series. Slightly better camera sensors, and I think the normal camera is the same, but the longer camera's better. They've added a telephoto lens. The main shooter appears to be the same, according to 9 to 5 Google, but the ultra-wide and selfie cameras are both upgraded. Google's Pro Series is also getting a 4-color launch lineup. This is the, according to the leaks, these are the colors. This is a kind of a ivory white. The new camera back is a lozenge. There's a pink and a green, a black and a white.
Which would you get?
Pink.
Ant, which would you get?
Black. I'm out of getting colorful phones now because it gets so dirty, even with the case on them.
You know why I go pink?
Why?
Because no one borrows your stuff. You know where it is. It's never a question. Where's your water bottle? It's pink.
Good point.
Same thing with a phone.
Good point.
Someday I'm going to surprise you and wear a shirt with
your
colors
son
in
isn't
it.
Jacob Pruitt.
Oh, look. Jammer B, you're not allowed to have a pink water bottle, Jammer B. Now we're confusing ourselves. It's a terrible thing, Aunt. They took the bottled water out of the studio. This is when I really realized we're closing the studio.
Oh, no.
When there was no longer any fresh water. I had to drink it like an animal out of the tap.
Like a Craig Newmark? Like a peasant?
Like a peasant. So I brought my own from home.
Oh, man.
I'm bringing my own water now.
It's getting
I guess
real.
John, you brought in a Brita pitcher.
It's getting real.
I feel like this is like a little sippy cup. I feel like an infant.
Drink your juice, Leo. What was your nickname when you were a little
Lele?
Nipper? Lele,
because my father was Leo as well. So it was either Little Leo, which I did not like.
Thank goodness.
I did not like, or Lele, which I did. My sister still calls me Lele. My mom will call me Lele.
That's pretty cool.
When you went to school, were you Leo or Leo?
I was Leo. Kids? I never even thought about being Leo until I was radio.
Oh, radio broadcast.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
But teachers would presume the name was Leo.
Yeah, but I was always at great pains to explain. And actually, the sad thing, never name your kid with an accent on or like weird French names.
Imagine doing that in the Carolinas.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, even in San Francisco, I said you can't have that name. It sounds gay.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't anti-gay. It's just that we don't want the radio station said no, be Leo.
Yep.
That sounds German. That sounds good. Yeah, I am Leo. Anyway, so I stuck with it. But it's actually Leo. My father's name was Leo. My grandfather's name was Leo. My great-grandfather's name was Leo. My great-great-grandfather's name was Leo. They were all Leos.
Legacy.
It's a legacy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you the 87th?
No, I'm the 6th, I think. I can't remember. But
really,
in school, you have to go, no, it's not Leo, it's Leo, as in Mayo. That's my great humiliation. I will never get over it now. Spending your whole life saying Leo is
Wait, I gotta back up for a second. You are Leo Laporte the 6th?
I would be, but it was Leo Frédéric Laporte until me.
Right.
And then my mom insisted on me taking her father's name, Gordon.
Oh, I see.
Her Scotch name. So I'm Leo Gordon Laporte, which, by the way, means now I have to go out and change all my secret question answers.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks for divulging that. Thanks for divulging that.
So what else is a Pixel 9? They think the price will be about $1,000 for the Pro, and the Pro XL will be $1,099. Yikes.
So since I'm not a camera professional like Ant, and so I take pictures of whiteboards, so I'm okay with the camera being whatever the camera is on the lower model of the 9. Will there be a difference in the AI abilities of the lower models?
What do you think, Ant?
I still doubt it, because eventually they both catch up to each other in the past models, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And honestly, yes, we know they now have more of the Magic Eraser style stuff. They had that thing where you could change people's heads. Like you take 4 pictures, and on picture 1, John was smiling. On picture 2, Ant was smiling. Yeah. Then they mix it up, and there's a lot of that. That's, I guess, more like AI than computational photography.
Yeah, but then like 6 months later, the other phone has that too.
Right.
If I remember right.
Exactly. You won't lose out in the long run. I think you'd like it just because. How old is your phone, Jeff?
Oh no, I'll probably get one. But what I'm asking, do I have to get the expensive one?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
But, okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, you don't because you're not pushing it, right?
No.
I don't need to get the expensive one, but I do just because I always want the best.
Yeah, and my question to
you want to judge that too.
Do phones excite you all at all anymore?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Okay, cool.
But the Oldsmobile 99
I keep rubbing it on my breast pocket, but I just can't. It doesn't get me excited. Yeah, the Oldsmobile 99 now. That's hot.
Give me a Cutlass, yeah. Cutlass.
You drive nice cars. You like your cars.
Like nice cars.
Yeah,
I do.
He drives nice cars.
I see. I thought I liked it, and then I found out he was a Beamer driver.
Man,
and that just changed my
Not
whole.
all Beamer drivers are bad.
I use my turn signals.
Yes. It's you Prius drivers that really are the problem.
Oh, man.
No, you don't drive a Prius. What do you drive, Jeff?
No, a boring Mazda.
Yeah,
that is pretty
that
boring.
is boring.
And
No wonder you're not excited.
It is.
Wow. It's so boring.
My wife's car is much older than mine and has more miles, and she's prideful about it. Oh, I'm not going to try. So it means I can't get a new car until
the
she gets a
only
new
thing
car.
more boring than a Mazda would be a Taurus.
Yeah, that's
Really,
right.
or a Corolla. And
Or an Impala. Impala would be the most
my
boring.
grandma had an
go with
Impala.
Impala.
I like her.
So my grandparents had Impalas too.
Yeah, I liked her Impala. That was the doctor's car.
The old ones were better.
Yeah.
We have a rundown?
Yeah, I got a rundown. And I got a really annoying story that I have to say put me in a blue funk. This is from the Wall Street Journal. A few blockbuster podcasts are making all the money.
This is seriously what has ruined it all.
I think so.
Is this search for scale? You have to be huge when that's not what podcasting is about.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
Alex Cooper. So you remember Call Her Daddy? Mm-hmm. And I was a little saddened when Spotify gave her $60 million
right?
for 3 years. Well, those 3 years are up. She is now nearing a $100 million deal for Call Her
F
Daddy.
me.
Wow.
Joe Rogan.
There's no way they're profiting from that. No way.
Well, this is serious. This is the satellite guys. Spotify's working for a second season with Trevor Noah. He probably produces. If you're a celebrity on TV, even if you're a B-list celebrity on TV, that brings some audience along.
Still getting millions.
I was
of
like
downloads,
a H-list celebrity on TV, and even I got some bang from that. Joe Rogan inked a deal with Spotify worth up to $250 million. Kelsey brothers are the next, Jason and Travis Kelsey. This is the Taylor Swift effect.
They do it. No. Nothing to do with Taylor
It's a great
Swift.
podcast.
Nothing to do with her.
Nothing to do with it.
She's a hell of a
No, I'm
talent,
sure.
but there's
I'm
nothing.
sure.
There's nothing to do with her.
I like how Aunt really stepped up on that one.
Oh, I'm so sick of that.
Oh, that-
Why?
They are
if
really
if
good.
he
Doc
weren't
Soul.
dating Taylor,
He
if
would
Travis,
still be just fine.
it would still be a big podcast.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be
Is
as
it a
big
great?
as he
Why?
is.
I haven't listened
Him
to it.
and his brother,
They're very
they
funny.
have a
They're good.
great dynamic, and
Yeah.
they have great stories because of the path that they both chose. Neither one of them went on the same path, even though they both ended up in the NFL and probably going to both end up in the NFL Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
But
But do they have a pink sippy cup water bottle?
they probably have several, sir.
That's my secret.
They're ahead of the curve on that.
They can get away with that, Leo, because they are who they are.
They are the number 4 podcast in the U.S. according to Edison Research.
They're legit. Yeah.
According to the journal, the podcast, which always cracks me up. When the podcast industry began 5 years ago.
5 years.
Jeez.
It always cracks me
When
up.
it began during COVID,
It was a
apparently.
hobby before that.
After a costly boom and bust cycle that spanned about half a decade. That's
man.
5 years. The podcasting business is growing up.
Allegedly.
Oh, F me.
Podcast is turning into, this again, the Wall Street Journal, into an industry of megastars who command the most money and the biggest audiences. There are still nearly 500,000 active shows, according to Podcast Industry Insights, but the top 25 podcasts reach nearly half of the U.S. weekly listeners. The top talents have tours, merchandise, and multi-year deals in the 9 figures. Wait a minute. $1 million. That's $100 million. Big advertisers want in. Oh. So that's the other thing that's happened. And by the way, this is absolutely true. Everything I'm saying is absolutely true. What's happened is that our shows and many of the early podcasts were driven by startups. Some startups peppered most of the podcast ads for years. Mattress makers, health supplement brands, mindfulness apps, and meal kit delivery companies. We've had, what are you laughing at? We've had, you've done the ads.
The
We've had
truth.
all of those.
Outrageous.
The truth.
Yeah.
We've had all of it. But now, podcast distributors like Spotify and Amazon are capitalizing on this dynamic. Some are experimenting with selling subscriptions for their top shows in hopes of persuading audiences to pay more to listen without ads.
Huh.
Get early access or exclusive bonus content.
Wonder where they got that idea.
They're making video versions of podcasts.
Oh, really?
Why didn't we think of that? And some are selling more ads to bigger brands like, this is one we aren't doing, car manufacturers and alcohol distributors.
You had car manufacturer.
I had I had Ford early on.
Right?
You had Ford.
And we have had conversations with other car manufacturers. The problem is we're so small potatoes compared to Dax Shepard, that if our numbers, which are in the tens and hundreds of thousands, pale compared to Call Her Daddy and Joe Rogan.
You see, that's what's going to drive me nuts. It's and I wrote this in my book, The Gutenberg Parenthesis, which didn't sell millions either, because I'm arguing that mass is what's ruined all of this. We've had a long century of mass media that made scale the most important thing, that tried to put us into huge buckets of people we didn't want to be in, and media still demand to go there because the advertisers still demand to go there because they're lazy suckers. And that's not the natural state of media. It shouldn't be. And it will end because that business model is bankrupt. But in the meanwhile, we're going to suffer right here.
In my podcast list, my regular podcast list, I believe 3 of them are, quote, big celebrities. And when I was listening to one on the way into the studio, I heard an ad, and it made me wonder, okay, so they did an ad for so-and-so sponsor with / their podcast name. And I'm like, how many people are actually doing those, following
Well, we've
through?
always done that,
Yeah.
But we have I feel like we have a more genuine audience versus the masses.
We only do it because the advertisers always demanded it. This is this was also true at Tech TV in the early days of a cable network. You do what's called direct response advertising, where because they don't have metrics and they don't have numbers, they can measure the response by having, Casper.com/twig.
Right.
And then they measure the response that way. But as you know, that's a very imperfect measurement because most people just type Casper.com.
Exactly.
Or they don't think about it till a month later and we're looking for a mattress and they just go to Casper.
Right.
So it doesn't capture the impact of the advertising.
And I'm like, these cats, they're getting these sponsors week in and week out. And I don't think that metric is really going to work. But for whatever reason, because they're a celebrity, let's go ahead and sponsor them.
Honestly, I'm very happy where we are. I like being on the long tail as long as you don't step on it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we serve a specific, dedicated, maybe not huge, but it's a decent size audience. It's as big as Tech TV was.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
And I'm happy with that. That's fine. And I don't want more than that. But it is one of the reasons we had to start the club and we're closing the studio is because the revenues are just going. It's headed upstream.
What was Tech TV's revenue at the max?
They lost $150 million a year for 6 years, I think.
Based on what revenue?
I don't know if I have the revenue numbers. I know that. So Paul Allen was the chief investor. Later, it was sold to SoftBank and then Comcast and so forth. But and Ziff Davis started it with SoftBank. But I think Paul Allen, they said he lost $600 million. And so obviously it was a bad bet. One review I'll remember that stands out in my mind, I'll never forget, said the Screensavers has the audience of largest high school in an urban center. So it was about 123,000, something like that. Wow. Well, we doubled that in the early days of TWiT easily. Mm-hmm. So I felt like, well, we're doing okay because we're costing a tenth or a hundredth of as much and have a 10 times larger audience. But what happens if the advertisers migrate up, or the startups, and that's one thing the Journal says, these startups, these direct market advertisers have kind of pulled back because of raising interest rates and economic uncertainty or whatever. And so they're getting out of podcast advertising. So we're losing that backbone. And we're not getting the Coca-Colas or the Bacardi rums. Joe Rogan's getting those. So according to Edison, who does a pretty good job with this kind of stuff, nearly 100 million Americans, 12 and older, listen to podcasts every week. 100 million. Wow. Podcast advertising revenue projected to grow. See, this is the thing that hurts us. It's supposed to grow 12% to more than $2 billion this year 2.6 billion by 2026, but we're not seeing that. We're not. We're seeing what it's fortunate. I'll tell you where we're fortunate. There is nowhere for cyber security companies to advertise anymore. There's no magazines. There's only a handful of podcasts, and they're not going to go on Joe Rogan. Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they even buy the Super Bowl. I think CrowdStrike was on the Super Bowl.
Well, that makes sense. They had the pockets for it.
Yeah. But honestly, thank goodness, because they're mostly coming to us and podcasts like us. So there are some niche audiences that we can benefit from.
I've always loved the idea that you could have a 1 million followers or 1,000 like rabid loyal followers.
Right. Yeah. Problem is, yes, but 1,000 rabid loyal followers.
What was that?
I think Jeff just flushed. It's okay, Jeff. You can.
I moved my chair.
What kind of seat are you sitting in?
That's something you don't hear on Smartless. Jeff's got a little potty chair. It plans.
Jeez.
It just caught me off guard. I'm sorry,
Dax
Mr.
Shepard.
Jarvis.
Now, I like Dax, but he's not an A-list celebrity. He's kind of,
His wife is, but
his wife is, but not him.
yeah.
Just did an $80 million deal.
Oh, jeez.
Video episodes of Armchair Expert.
Wow.
$80 million. The company will co-own 2 new podcasts it will create with Shepard, sell ads, and hawk exclusive merchandise.
A word that's now ruined.
It's
forever.
ruined. It has the right to live stream a show once a year. Wondery, one of the things Wondery did is they have great relationships in Hollywood, so they get TV shows made about their podcasts. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
NFL star brothers and New Heights hosts Jason and Travis Kelce, don't look,
Nothing to do with that.
seeking a deal in the $100 million range. I know they get good money as NFL stars, but that's not chump change.
Yeah. Wow.
For doing a podcast.
They're really
Smaller and less proven stars can make deals with the distributors, but the checks are much smaller and some don't have deals at all, making merch sales and touring even more important. Many hosts do their podcasts on the side.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you, Wall Street Journal, for making my day. Direct consumer. So they're talking about how Spotify had to consolidate cold shows under Wall Street's pressure to make money. Then the ad market slowed. Direct-to-consumer brands that had anchored the podcast ad business struggled early last year amid rising interest rates. And a software update from Apple late last year hindered the podcast industry's advertising efforts. You know why? Because all those inflated download numbers turned out to be BS.
Exactly. Bunk.
Over the past year, big brands like BMW, DraftKings, and Home Depot began advertising primarily on the podcast with bigger audiences. I drive a BMW. You drive a BMW.
Yes.
Hello, BMW.
Hey, BMW, right here.
That's Jordan Fox from Ad Results Media Arm, one of the agencies we work with, said that's going to be a big driver of the next wave of podcast advertising growth. Molson Coors, FanDuel, BetterHelp. All right, we got one. And Liquid Death, which is water. What are you getting there? What are they giving you?
Nothing. Carry on. It was off camera.
Is it a pink water tippy sippy cup? Sirius is planning to launch a subscription that bundles some of its shows together for $6 a month, undercutting us, including perhaps Conan O'Brien's podcast. That's a good podcast, right? Freakonomics. See, if you're Conan O'Brien, guaranteed audience if you do a podcast. Even if only a fraction of his TV viewers listen to the podcast, you're golden. Freakonomics Radio, Crime Junkie, which is I think the number 2 podcast in the nation right now. Here's the top. Wow. Here's the top 10 by audience, according to Edison. Nobody really knows because nobody really has numbers. Number 1, Joe Rogan. That's probably true.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, right. They get to make up numbers, and it's okay because it sounds really big. You don't get to make up numbers because no, you haven't.
Right. Joe Rogan, number 1. That's probably true. Crime Junkie, number 2. That's probably true. The Daily, of course. Number 4, New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce. Dateline NBC. Doesn't hurt to have a network behind you. Number 6, This American Life, which I'm going to argue
not a podcast.
is the best
that's not a podcast.
radio show
that's a
ever
show
made.
that's
Yeah.
repurposed.
Yeah.
But it's a great
That's
radio
BS.
show. Caller Daddy, number 7. Smartless, number 8. Morbid, I don't know what that is, number 9. And Stuff You Should Know, number 10.
And see, I see stuff you should know all over YouTube. Never really
You know
think
why?
about it as a podcast.
They're owned by iHeart, and the guy who runs iHeart Podcasting founded it.
Okay.
iHeart bought them
Okay.
and promotes the hell out of them. So it helps. That's the other thing. It helps to have somebody like iHeart or Amazon or Spotify really promoting you. That's huge value. I don't know. I sound like I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. We're
You know
just
what,
a
Leo?
different thing.
It just seems like the bottom's got to fall out at some point on these, right?
I actually think
it
of the
fell
other
out
way.
of the bottom is where it fell out.
Yeah, I think it's the other. I think of it the other way. I think it's a new medium, and it's finding its way. And people are. What's good is that half of America listens, and so it's now taking. We talked about this on MacBreak Weekly yesterday about how nobody watches TV anymore. They watch YouTube.
This is true. Definitely in my house.
I mean, if you want to talk
It
about
got
money,
ruined
that's
by the
just
big
making money.
companies.
Yeah.
ruined.
Nothing
That's
got
the problem.
ruined. It's just like blogging.
Yeah,
it just
did. It did.
The little guys are just little guys now, and the big guys take all the money.
I just don't know where Spotify or whomever is going to make that money back. The same way with Netflix and how they've paid all of the different creators these gazillions of dollars, and it wasn't coming in until they started raising the monthly rate for the subscribers, basically. You know?
Yeah. I think we just have to, and I think we've done that, find the right level of support, the right level to spend, and continue to serve our audience as best we can. It's one of the
Right.
reasons we're
Yeah.
shutting the studio down. That saves us tens of thousands of dollars a month. I don't want to cut, we cut you and we cut Jason and Victor. I don't want to cut any more staff if we can help it. So we're by shutting down the studio, we're kind of giving us some leeway.
Yeah.
And then with any luck, advertising seems to be picking up a little bit, which is good. With any luck, we can kind of keep our head above water. I'll be happy. I mean, I'm not getting paid right now, but eventually I think I'll make some money, a little bit. It won't be like it used to be, but that's fine. And I just hope we can keep our head above water and keep doing what we want to do. And everybody can make a little bit of money. Nobody's going to get rich here.
And also, sir, who knows what's going to happen after November, too?
Please don't bring that up.
It could probably be
Very much change.
It could probably get better.
It could get better.
Who knows?
I like that. It's going to get better.
It could get better. So
Yeah, I love you, Ann. I miss the hell out of you, dude. It's going to get better. That's Ann.
You know what, Leo? I think you need a friend.
Okay, I'm open. Who's my friend? Alicia?
Number 7. Where is it?
I thought you were going to talk about the man
71.
who scanned hundreds of people online as Alicia. No?
that's a weird story.
Oh,
Line
we'll talk about that
71.
later. 71.
Friend for just
my
$99.
AI friend.
Yes.
Friend, how it works. Talk, speak your mind, or gossip about what your friend overheard.
you
You
seen
wear
this
this
or not?
around your neck.
Wait,
Pause.
Wear it around your neck. It listens to you constantly, and then it makes comments to your phone.
I see. You're hiking.
Is $99.
All right, I'm going to buy it. Okay, deal. No subscription.
No subscription, but it's supposed to be your friend. It's supposed to make comments on what it's heard from you all day.
This is such a Woody Allen movie in real life.
It really is. So the thing is, it comes from, go to the blog page. It comes from a young man who's very smart, who made his name doing the COVID tracker
Oh, I remember him.
when he was a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Avi Shifman, right?
Yes.
So he managed to, I think he has a reputation for that, and God bless him, and he's a smart guy, and we really needed him during the pandemic, and somebody should have helped him out here. So he raised like $2.5 million, of which he spent $1.8 million to get the URL.
You see?
Friend.com. That must, yes, I believe it. Was it worth it? Do you think?
No. So it listens to you all day, and they insist it's local. And if you lose it,
I'm definitely
then there
getting
is no recovery.
Oh,
Because
it doesn't save anything.
if you would go to the FAQ and where it says, what do you get in the box?
I will in a sec, but I'm ordering it first.
He's seriously ordering it right now.
No.
The daggum credit
Oh,
card
Leo,
screen's
no.
up. Like, come on, no.
Losing money.
Stop, dude.
But I want a friend.
No.
Okay.
Someone stop this dude.
Yeah, stop him. Take away his mouse.
FAQ. Where's the? Okay, here he is. When will I receive my friend?
Well, then,
Next year.
what's included in the box? What's included in the box?
Okay.
This is a moment.
What's included in the box? Your order includes
A white friend.
A white friend. I want a black friend. How do I get a black friend? Two great lanyards and a white case.
Because it only works with the iOS, and iOS
no.
works with white people.
Wait a minute.
That's just the way it is.
I got my share of white friends. I had enough.
I have enough white friends.
You don't need to buy one. They come to you.
A phone to be able to use the device.
Oh, my.
Friend is supported on iOS. What happens if I break it? Nope. No recovery. No audio or transcripts are stored. So it's just, I probably could make this.
Yeah.
Right?
The question is, why this device? Why?
I predict he will sell 1 million of them. Because everybody needs a friend.
Shipped.
Oh, my gosh. No.
A white friend.
A white friend in a box.
Oh, what a world. What
Great
a
show
world.
title, Charger. Great show title.
I am not making this show white friend in a box. There will be
Great show title.
too much time will go by before
I
people
was on
understand it.
the White Dudes for Harris call. The other
Did you
night,
go on
so,
that call? Did you go on that?
Yeah. So white
you
dudes
talk?
are now we can talk about being white. It's all right.
Did you
I forget who it was. Oh, it was.
Would they have,
it was, I
if
think it
Ann
was,
had showed up, would they say, no, you can't be here?
No. They
Wasn't like that. By the way, I'm
I think it
sure
was the
Dax
Daily
Shepard
Show.
was on that. I think there were quite a few celebrities on that, right?
There were a lot of celebrities. So
Yeah.
Reid Hoffman. But somebody said when white people start thinking about their race, bad things happen.
Yeah,
That was the Daily Show.
That was my natural inclination is to stay
It was
away from
my
that.
reflex, but I think the dudes helped. It made it ironic.
And the dude was there, right? Jeffrey Bridges.
Jeffrey Bridges,
yeah.
He started off.
The dude, that was where it came from.
I gotta watch this rerun.
Can you watch it still? Is it over or is it?
Oh yeah, you can watch it. Yeah. He's on at the beginning, and then Bradley Whitford from The West Wing said this was a rainbow of beige.
Everything from lily white to pale white, and everything
pink.
in between.
Pink was
That's
there too.
hilarious. That's a good line.
Rainbow beige.
It was a very good line. Yeah, it was.
Let's take a break. Then we have some serious news. I don't know if we do actually, but we'll find out. This is it's so nice to see Pruitt. He is a contributor to ZDNet.
That's right.
He's a photographer. He works as a model because he's beautiful, and he is a creator for hire.
That's right. I have a shoot tomorrow, actually. Modeling shoot.
Oh, how does it feel being on the other side of the camera?
I told Queen Pruitt, I said, if people want to pay me to be in front of the camera, I'm all for it. If they don't want to pay me to be behind it.
Was it a little uncomfortable, though, at first when you first did it?
Well, it's been 20-something years since I've modeled, but I just...
Yeah, your boys,
what you're
are
modeling?
your models. You have some beautiful pictures of them. Yeah.
What are you modeling, if we may ask?
I can't say, but I've done a lot of corporate stuff. Even some.
Are you my black friend in these corporate brochures?
I've even done some.
He's the president and CEO. Damn it!
I've done some Silicon Valley stuff as
nice.
as executives.
You are the executive?
Yes.
They don't have real executives?
Not to look like me.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I mean, if you really want to be frank, they're looking for some black executives. Actually, they're looking for good-looking black executives.
That too. How do they wardrobe you? What do they have you wear?
Very carefully. A lot of times it ends up being my own gear because
they don't
stuff
have
doesn't
anything
fit.
that'll fit. Yeah.
Stuff doesn't fit. So I bring my own.
And
stuff
for those
most
not
of the
watching
time.
video, it's not because he's fat, folks. It's because he's ripped.
No, not.
It's because
He's bigger than
ripped.
Travis Kelce. Is
his
why.
forearm is bigger than Leo's thighs.
That's actually literally true.
Yeah.
And I have big thighs. They call
That
them
was a
thunder
compliment to
forearms.
ants.
Yes.
It's been fun. Like I said,
Wait a minute, though. That is blowing my mind that a company that doesn't have any black executives will import them.
Yes. Yes.
How do they identify you? Or you just have you in the background looking like an executive?
It ain't been background.
You're posing as a board member or as an
executive of some sort. It hasn't been background, so.
Unbelievable.
Now, I've done some background work, but those executive jobs were not background. I was primary.
That is wild.
Principal.
But doesn't it, when somebody comes in and actually meets the real executive, they go, well, you don't look anything like your picture. Don't they? I mean, don't they notice?
No, this is a Seinfeld show.
Well, this is
then
crazy.
Ant moves in and takes charge.
Okay, maybe I think maybe you're thinking about this the wrong way. They're a Silicon Valley company trying to market to other.
Oh, you're a potential customer,
right?
You're not pretending you're one of their executives.
No, I'm not one of theirs.
Okay.
No.
That's what I thought. It was like, we got a problem here. Our entire board is white men.
We can hire them for a day.
We get some variety in this shot. Oh. Hey, it's nice to see Retcon 5 in the studio.
Good to see you, sir.
How are you? Pretty good. He's representing all club members today in the studio. Don't you be coming down here. We are, though, going to allow people to come into the studio on August 12th, between 10 and noon. Monday. And take anything you want. But, Retcon, just for you, take anything you want. Give him the bat.
Me first.
Do you want the bat?
$24,000 switch.
No, you can't have the. You can't have. We already sold that. But please go in my office and anything that's not. There's a box there. The stuff I want to keep. The rest of it is up for grabs. Yeah, you can even have this Dr. Evil chair, but not while I'm sitting in it.
You're not taking the evil chair with you?
Oh yeah, give him this. No, I took one. We have two.
Yes, please give him.
Give him this.
The art.
Here, we've got something just for you, Retcon 5. How much would you pay for this painting of Leo Laporte? On the
For
air.
those of you who are not watching, Leo will now describe it.
It is as if you were watching this show, but you had taken an extremely large amount of acid.
LSD.
Several microdoses.
Several, and maybe some mushrooms and mescaline on top of it. Because my face is like colorful and it's a wild. Maybe it's AI before AI got good. Anyway, I shouldn't say this because some very nice person painted this.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And I really appreciate it. And we're not giving it to Matt because he won't take it.
Is it a Heil microphone, though? That's what I want to
That's a good question. You cannot take any Heil microphones. Those are in short supply. What are you trying to give him? John Ashley's going around.
He's just grabbing stuff.
Oh, no. Oh, you can give him the bad Heil.
The bad Heil.
Is that the bad Heil? Don't give him the good Heil. Anyway.
Don't let me interrupt the show.
No, of course not.
Is there an aftermarket for this stuff that you're
some of it?
jettisoning?
So Lisa found a company that does liquidations.
Oh, nice.
And what they do is they sell what they can and give you half.
You're right.
Then they donate what they can and give you nothing. And then they recycle the rest. So I think that's a good. Yeah. We're going to get a penny on the dollar. We're not going to get much money. Yeah. But credit to John Slanina. We bought last year. Last year we had a failure of a key element, a key device.
I remember that.
And it freaked people out. And so the decision was made against my better judgment. I said, no, we're not doing this. But we did it to buy a second one for $24,000.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, we don't need it. We're not mission critical. This is not a hospital.
I remember that.
If we go down, it's okay.
Yep.
We'll come back. But it was deemed for a variety of reasons that we should get this. The really good news, John, as one of his final access studio manager, found a buyer for it for like 80% of the value.
Ooh, nice.
So we're going to get our money back out of that.
Nice.
Some things, and then there's some things we're donating. John has a good friend who works at a public broadcasting, public access broadcasting, right? Is that what it is?
It's an NPR radio
Oh, it's an NPR radio
cool.
station. Good, even better. And we're going to donate some of our audio devices to him, the Axia system.
Cool.
Yeah, which really belongs in a radio station.
We got any more mixed pre's?
Guy wrote to me from. Yeah, actually, Ant can have the mixed pre in my office. I'm not going to take that unless you are. We have to.
Anybody want the mixed pre?
It's a really tricky situation right now because we are still here.
Yes.
And we will be here for another week. But people are starting to take things. And we're trying not to let anything from the
Nobody wants espresso here. Nobody.
You can have that. You've been wanting that coffee machine as long as I know. There goes the camera. John Ashley's taking the camera off. Leave it alone. No. I need a little squirt bottle so that when people go up to things, they can squirt them. Anyway, in a week, you can have anything that's still here. And I've kind of earmarked some, but I don't have room for everything. That's the problem. You know what I'm leaving a lot of behind is my awards. It's like I have a lot of podcast awards.
Yeah, I don't have my bowling trophies anymore either.
Yeah, it's like a bowling trophy. I don't need it. I am keeping the Emmy. Got to keep the Emmy. I'm keeping token awards, an Emmy, a Webby, and the Podcasters Hall of Fame award. I'm keeping those three. That's enough.
Of course.
Enough for anybody.
Yeah. But then you have to act humble and put them in your bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have an awards wall for yourself there? No. Anyway, somebody did take the giant sword out of my office, which worries me a little bit.
Is that a Burke that may have that sword?
I don't mind. I don't want it. But it's this long, and I'm a little worried.
I don't want Mr. Burke to have it. You see what he does?
I'm a little nervous. It's a big old sword, but the baseball bat for our 100th episode, isn't that sweet?
That's
Louisville Slugger. Cool. See, this problem, I don't want to talk about this too much because I feel bad if people are watching that gave me this stuff or painted that painting. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to keep it all, and we did for many years, but I don't have the space.
But there's no place for it. Yeah, unfortunately.
I just have a small.
What about the gear behind you?
So this gear, that's a good story. That was the one that Craig Newmark appeared in for the last time. That's why we invited him on, so he could appear in the gear. That actually was double-sided in the brick house. You could see it from either side. It's only single-sided here, so somebody took the back off. I have taken it home, and it is in my house, hanging on the wall. And it is lit, and it will be in certain shots.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And that look humble needlepoint, somebody did. John, you'll be happy to know I did save. I met Jammer B when he came up here. He was a long-haired hippie dude. Look humble.
No, he's just a short-haired hippie dude.
He was a long-haired hippie dude, and he came up and he gave me an old telephone, one of those old telephones. I still have it, and I'm taking that with me.
Yeah, you making fun of it?
And John's old 128K Mac I'm taking with me.
Wow.
He donated that. But I only have a little attic. Right? I have a tiny little attic, so. Well, it's not that tiny. It's 400 square feet. So it's
decent size. Yeah.
It's actually as big as a studio
400
apartment.
square feet.
I can live there.
That's decent size there.
And I might. If I don't do this ad right now. We'll have more with This Week in Google, Aunt Pruitt, and Jeff Jarvis. I'm very happy that I will continue to get to do this show with you guys. So that's
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah. And Aunt, I personally hope to have you on. One of the things we're going to do in the attic is have many more kind of informal. I'd love to talk photography with you, things like that.
Sure.
We'll get you on, stuff like that.
Just yell.
Our show today brought to you by, and this is quite literally brought to you by CashFly. We've been doing this for a long time, for over 20 years. CashFly has held the track record for high-performing, ultra-reliable content delivery, serving over 5,000 companies in over 80 countries. And I know because we've been using CashFly since we started. The first couple of years, we tried to do it where you would download the show from a website. That didn't work. Then we tried BitTorrent. Finally, CashFly called and said, can we help? We love their lag-free video loading, their hyper-fast downloads, their friction-free site interactions. CashFly is the only CDN built for throughput, ultra-low latency video streaming that can deliver video to as many as 1 million concurrent customers with less than 1 second latency. It's amazing. Lightning fast gaming delivers downloads faster with zero lag. glitches, or outages. Mobile content optimization offers automatic and simple image optimization so your site loads faster on any device. And what I love about CacheFly, we didn't know when we first started, our bandwidth use was really weird. It was very high when the show first came out, then it tapered off during the week, and it was very spiky. They allowed us to do flexible month-to-month billing for as long as we needed, adjusting for our peaks and valleys. They'll do the same for you. But then when you know what you want and you're getting, you know what you're going to get, you can get discounts for fixed terms. The point is, I guess, you design your own contract when you switch to CacheFly, and they're very accommodating. CacheFly delivers rich media content up to 158% faster than other major CDNs and allows you to shield your site content in their cloud, ensuring a 100% cache hit ratio. And with CacheFly's elite managed packages, you'll get the VIP treatment. Your dedicated account manager will be with you from day one, ensuring a smooth implementation and reliable 24/7 support when you need it. Learn how you can get your first month free at cachefly.com/twit. That's CACHEFLY.com/twit. We thank them so much for everything they've done for us over the years. Thank you, CacheFly. You are our real friend, not like that little one on a necklace or on your neck. That's not a real friend.
The one in the box.
No. Friend. $1.8 million on a domain name?
Yeah.
Who owned friend.com before that? That's wild.
Somebody very happy today.
Yeah, for real.
I found a new friend.
One of the guys who, I think it was my first or second employee at TWiT, Dan Golden, owned hey.com, HEY.com.
Ooh, yeah.
And he always said, this is my retirement. This is someday people would try to get from, eventually I think he did sell it. You know who got it?
Was it Living that got it?
No. The folks, David Hannemeyer Hansen and Jason Fried from, they have the mail service, hey.com. They even mentioned it, and they spent a lot of money for it. So I hope Dane I think he probably got $1 million.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Isn't that nice? That's a nice story. Hey, here's another nice story, but I don't know how seriously to take it. A federal court has ruled that in New York, that border agents have to get a warrant before they search your electronic devices, whether you're American or international, coming over the border. This came about because, well, as you know, the practice has been just to take it. You go into the border, and the Border Patrol has always felt like you don't have the normal...
You're not in the country yet. You're in our space.
Normal rights against unlawful search and seizure. You're not protected by the Fourth Amendment, so they just look at what you got. They did that to somebody at JFK, Kurbanali Sultanov. He's a U.S. citizen. He entered the country in 2022. His phone was taken by border agents. He was told to provide his password, which he did when officers told him he had no choice. I mean, he had a choice. He could probably spend some time in airport jail, which is even worse than airport waiting room. Sultanov later moved to suppress the evidence taken from his phone, arguing the search violated his Fourth Amendment rights. And weirdly, because in the past, courts have upheld the rights of the CPB to do this, but your friends, the Knight First Amendment Institute of Columbia and the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press filed an amicus brief. The judge agreed. He relied in part on the brief filed on the defendant's behalf that argued that unwarranted border searches also violate the First Amendment on the grounds of presenting an unduly high risk of a chilling effect on press activities. That's why the Knight Foundation was involved. And journalists crossing the border. Hey, we don't like you and your kind, so give me your phone and let's see what you've been up to.
Especially under a certain president who was a president not too long ago.
Yeah, and could be again. So the court also shares the group's concerns about the effect of warrantless searches of electronic devices at the border on other freedoms protected by the First Amendment: speech, religion, and association. The judge said the court sided with the government's argument that device searches at the border do not require any suspicion. He agreed with that. But he also said the targets of political opposition would only need to travel once through an international airport for the government to gain unfettered access to the most, quote, intimate window into a person's life. That's, quote, comes from an earlier Supreme Court ruling on cell phone privacy. So the court ruled the warrantless search was unconstitutional. They concluded the government had acted in good faith at the time of the search, dismissed the motion to suppress the evidence, but did rule that the CPB cannot do this. It only affects the area governed by this federal court, which is basically New York, but that it does include JFK. It's the Eastern District of New York. And I presume Newark and LaGuardia. So it'll be interesting to see. The CPB says, well, we're going to look at this and see what it means. But it'd be interesting to see.
Imagine what they could do with your white friend.
So if you say, well, I say that I go through the border and they never do nothing to me.
And the person involved in this is an American.
Yeah.
Is that what you
US
said?
citizen.
So, but they just prejudged.
There was evidence that he might be involved in child sexual abuse.
Oh, okay.
Or sexual abuse of material. And so I guess from prior information. So they had some, I don't know if it was reasonable cause, but they had some cause.
Okay.
According to the CPB, you may never have been searched, but they searched more than 41,000 devices during 2023, last year. 41,000.
Dang.
And it really is an invasion of privacy. That's the thing. That's what's changed. It's not like a pat down.
Yeah.
They're going into your most intimate details. Your phone has it all.
I'm pretty sure I would be in lockup because I'm not giving out my password. That's just not happening.
Oh, you don't want to go to airport jail, baby. That's it's worse than Rikers.
I'd have to take one for the team, I guess.
It really would be interesting if you said no.
I'm not going to do it. My family don't even know my passwords.
And now you could say, according to the U.S. District Court in the Eastern District, I don't have to.
That's right.
That might give them pause.
Yeah.
The Knight First Amendment Institute says the ruling makes clear the border agents need a warrant before they can access the phone. But see, that's hard to get a warrant. They'd have to hold you.
You're not going to get a 20-minute warrant.
Right. I'm in favor of this. I think that we really do need to protect the phone. I don't want to protect child abusers, but the phone is such, and it can be used against you, as the court said, even if you're just a dissident. Yeah. Have you been watching the Olympics?
I've been trying. My schedule's been weird, and plus it's in France, and we're over here on the Pacific coast, and it's so weird trying to watch it live now.
Yeah, we had to watch the women's team finals at 9:15 in the morning, but that was okay.
I think I watched something at 2 a.m.
Oof. It was worse in Tokyo, though, remember. I mean, this is a great piece on in The Verge by Dvora Myers on how AI is being used in Olympic judging.
Oh, gosh, no.
The governing body of international gymnastics has pushed for an AI-assisted aid for judges, but what justifies the tremendous expense for such a system? The World Gymnastics Championships held an answer, and it might not have anything to do with gymnastics at all. This was from Belgium when at the championships they had cameras on the four corners of the mat where Simone Biles was doing her vault, and they were set up by Fujitsu, which has been working with the International Gymnastics Federation for 7 years to create an AI gymnastics judging system. In the early days, they used LiDAR. They would create 3D composites of the gymnast in action. Now, according to The Verge, it uses an even more sophisticated system with high-def cameras to capture the motion of the athletes, make 3D models, and identify whether the elements they're performing fall into the parameters established by the judging bodies. Now, that doesn't score, but it's deployed when there's an inquiry from the gymnast or the coaches or a dispute within the judging panel itself. It's called the Judging Support System, JSS. It can be consulted to calculate the difficulty score of an athlete's exercise.
All right, now I feel better.
Mostly they say Devorah says it's used for edge cases. In the case of Biles Vault in Antwerp, there was no question.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was impossible.
Nice.
Yeah, but you did it.
Well done. I'd like to see the video, though. Wouldn't it be cool to see the 3D video?
Yeah.
The calculations.
I'm glad that this is a support system because I was assuming they were going to just basically get rid of a judge and throw in a computer to handle that.
That would be bad, I think.
That's horrible.
Yeah. In tennis, they have the Hawkeye, right? That's a line calling system.
But that's for the line.
But that's appropriate because that's a very hard thing to see.
Right. Binary.
Yeah, it's either in or out.
Yeah.
Right.
And also in the Olympics.
I like how they've added, in Wimbledon, they added grass animation.
Benito,
in the Olympics, they added a challenge so that, like, first it's the judge's call, and then if the player thinks the judge was wrong, they have a challenge.
Interesting.
And then they go to the computer for that.
That's fair.
We've seen, when instant replay came into football, it was, people
very controversial.
Yeah, didn't like it, and it's now a big part of the game.
Yep,
for better or worse. Now in baseball, you see it.
It's in basketball too now.
Really?
It's ruined basketball. I'll say that
because it slows it down.
It's making basketball has already gotten too soft, in my opinion. And now you're just slowing it down even more.
Ball. Watch Olympic ball.
Oh no, I haven't seen any Olympic ball yet.
It's so rough.
Okay, good. Well, I look forward to that then.
I'm gonna run right through that guy. For all we talk about how AI is unreliable and there's certain if it's being done in conjunction with humans and you understand its limitations, I think it could be very valuable.
I'm totally fine with that. Conjunction. Totally fine with that.
Good article in The Verge, and it covers the history of all of this, the controversies of all of it. And I feel like it's probably okay the way they are using it right now.
This implementation is no different from having multiple cameras angles to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Judges consult video replays and the new JSS system. It's unclear under which conditions the JSS rather than video review was used. But ultimately, it was always the judges. The judges made the final call. It was in response to an inquiry. The biggest complaint is the same as it is in football, basketball, and baseball. It slows everything down. Now we got to wait.
But football has come around. At least the masses have said, well, at least they get it right.
See, that's the thing. And I would think in basketball, it would really be an issue. It's all the time you see fouls not called and then called, and it's random. And sometimes maybe that's because
well, that's so football random. Too. Football, there's like holding on every play. There's face masking on every play.
Yeah,
it's so fun to watch football with Lisa.
all of the swearing.
Well, there's that. But
I love her.
But she's a big one on when it's our team. Let them play instead of calling a bunch of penalties.
Yeah.
And then when it's them against us, it's them. It's like, what are you blind?
She's a fan. She is a passionate, loyal fan.
She is. It makes it so much more fun than just watching, and not caring. Which is what I used to do. Shh, don't tell her that. This is Devorah again, when I sat down with the Fujitsu technicians in Antwerp in a room somewhere in the bowels of the Sport Palais, I got to see just how precise the JSS can be. I was shown recordings of the switch ring leap, a skill that was also highlighted during the press conference the day before. Notoriously tricky to perform and judge. A lot of boxes to tick, the split of the legs, the position of the back leg relative to the crown of the head, the arch of the back, the head release. The judge has to be able to register all that like that. I mean, that is quite skillful.
Yeah. But that's what they're trained to do.
Well, I understand, but maybe there's a little subjectiveness in it, JSS looked a lot like a video replay, except the gymnast is transformed into an unclothed mannequin performing the elements. The apparatus is there, but all the trappings of the gymnasium are gone. It looks like the holodeck on Star Trek. To the side, you can see key measurements like angles to help determine whether the gymnast met the demands of the elements. I hate it in football where they have the AWS, They do this now.
Amazon.
You only had 23% chance of catching that. Like, that's a meaningful. Sometimes I think we go a little too far in this statistical analysis.
Yeah, but Amazon paid a lot of money for that package, so you better mention AWS.
You only had one chance of 5 of catching that. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and I'm sure we'll see an up close and personal on how the AI's.
And this is only mentioned for gymnastics, correct?
Right.
Because I'm thinking about, say, diving and ice and figure skating as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Those are very, very, very quick events.
Eric Duckman in our YouTube chat says they had the animated robot thing in the swimming. What was that?
I don't remember that.
I haven't watched much yet. But I got it all on YouTube TV. I can go back. NASA, John, don't sit down. Are you sitting down, John? Okay. NASA is going to shut down NASA TV on cable. Why? Because people are watching the streaming more. NASA Plus is huge.
Shocking.
So they're taking NASA TV off the cable. It was on DirecTV and Dish and similar services, some local cable companies. But now it'll all be NASA Plus. It's on-demand streaming service.
I would love to know their demo. Who's watching it?
Do you think young people will watch?
That's my question.
Yeah.
I give Mr. Rod Powell a hard time all the time about his affinity for space. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I mean, his show is great.
We grew up,
fortunately.
Rod's my age, and Jeff Sage, and we grew up watching Walter Cronkite. The Gemini.
Actually, I was Huntley Brinkley in my family.
Oh, yeah. We were Huntley Brinkley, too.
Oh, okay.
That was an interesting class distinction back in the day. Whether you watched Huntley Brinkley on NBC, Walter Cronkite on CBS, or if you were really down market, you'd watch Frank Reynolds on ABC.
Plus, were you Colgate or Pepsodent?
Oh, we were Crest. What are you talking, Pepsi?
Oh, Crest, I mean. Colgate. I was Colgate.
This isn't the 30s.
I was Colgate.
Were you
wonder
Mayo
where your smile went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Were you Mayo or Miracle Whip?
Miracle Whip all the way, but that was our
same
one.
Here, so American.
Concession.
I'm a Southerner. It's Dukes.
Dukes.
Come on.
Dukes is good. I've had Dukes. In fact, I've sought it out for that reason.
Yes.
It's good.
Coke or Pepsi?
He's a Coke guy.
No.
No?
Pepsi is bigger in the
Pepsi
black
bigger
community.
in Kakalaki?
Bigger in the black community.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And Pepsi knows that.
Atlanta is the home of Coca-Cola.
Exactly. And
So-
Pepsi went in. I believe it was in the 94 Olympics? When the Olympics were in Atlanta.
I remember that. They bought a lot
Pepsi
of
went
ads.
in there and
Oh, my. And it worked.
it worked.
Wow. That's Gerald Tompkins in our YouTube says you're right.
I am correct. It's 84 Olympics. Yeah.
84, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Retcon knew that one. So as we know, Google took a U-turn on third-party cookies, saying it's not our fault. The EU made us.
It isn't their fault. Everybody was screaming, get rid of cookies. They said, okay, here's one way to get rid of cookies. And everybody said, no. They said, okay, well, here's another way. No. You're too fast. No. They couldn't win on this one. They could not win.
Did anyone explain the fundamentals of cookies?
Oh, I did last week for about an hour.
Just that at least?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I went on and on and on, and I apologize.
You got to have him.
You got to have them. But you don't have to have third-party or tracking cookies, and that's what people are upset with. And that was what Google was going to kill. The World Wide Web Consortium has expressed disappointment with Google and the decision to retain third-party cookies, saying it undermines collaborative efforts. So for 5 years, the W3C has been working with Google to develop an alternative. Third-party cookies, they say, are not good for the web. And I kind of agree.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Google was going to get rid of them, and they had a plan, and even Steve said it was a good plan, and then publishers and some regulators
Mr. Gibson
spit
commented
on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Steve liked his topics was the Google solution.
Oh,
the whole
that's
idea was
right.
your
I remember
browser, it only worked in Chrome, but they were hoping other browsers would adopt this, would watch what you're doing Make a list of the top, I can't remember, 10 topics you were interested in.
That's been like 2-3 years, right?
Yeah, they've tried Flock. They've tried a bunch of things. Topics was the most recent.
Yeah.
And the browser did the auctioning, which was weird. Not Google or somebody in the web, but the browser.
Because it stayed local.
It stayed local. The browser would say, well, Ant's really interested in Plymouths.
And he needs more RAM.
No, this browser
needs
really
RAM.
interested in.
And then it would say, anybody want to buy an ad to show Ant in this category? Or actually,
he should instead buy a Rambler.
Yeah, right. It would be somebody like that.
Wow.
Saying, no, dude, you want a Silverado. Anyway, the W3C took this opportunity to put a image of a cookie on their website.
AI.
Can we stop that? Can we just stop that? Third-party cookies have got to go, says Hadley Beeman. Writing, that's a AI name if ever I heard one.
You think? Hadley Beeman.
Hadley Beeman. Even her picture looks a little phony. I'm sorry, Hadley. I know you're a real person. Well, I don't, but I'm hoping you are. Okay, this is the really bad news, but I'll save that for a moment. You're watching This Week in Google. Ant Pruitt is sitting in for Paris Martineau. This is good. This is a good thing. Thank you, Ant, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Jeff Jarvis, the professor emeritus. Can we yet say where you're going?
Nope.
Is there...
Each week is a tease, folks.
Is there a
bureaucracy takes time?
Okay.
There was a discussion this week of what title.
Oh, my God. That must be fun for you.
Man.
Do you get to go to those? What title should we give him? Oh, okay.
No. I went for simpler. It was a little over.
You wanted the simpler title. They wanted it Lord, Master, High Commander of the
Marquesa of journalism. It was a little much. Or I guess is that female?
The Grand Marquis?
I think
Grand Marquis.
Grand Marquis. Again, with the cars.
That's a car. Yeah.
Does it have fine Corinthian leather? Is the question.
I have fins
and curb feelers.
Curb feelers. Remember those? You don't need curb feelers anymore.
Oh,
actually,
man.
I wish I had curb feelers because their driveway has a curvy curb, and I'm trying to back out, and I can see it on the camera, but the car's going crazy, going beep beep beep, beep. And I know I got a little clearance, and I've hit the curb a couple of times.
Get the curb feelers.
I need curb feelers.
Direct
Can you buy
response.
aftermarket curb feelers?
I'm sure somebody
you
has
can.
it. Scooter X, you got those too?
Here's the bad news. The Senate.
curb feelers on Amazon.
You serious?
Curb feelers on Amazon. Aisle 5.
No way.
Wikipedia, though, goes to the old-fashioned curb feelers, which is fun. Nice picture.
Wow.
A Rambler. A Rambler with curb feelers.
Are they spelling curb K-E-R-B or C-U-R-B?
C-U-R-B.
Okay.
$18.
$18. This is where.
There it is.
Oh, you know what? I would kill for that car.
Yeah. With
It's got the fuzzy dice. It's got American flag on its antenna. It's got those little wing windows. Remember those wing?
That's
awesome.
my father smoked. That way the smoke went out.
Yeah, you blow the smoke out the wing. That's what the wing is for, literally.
Yeah.
And then the curb feelers.
What do they call the big white walls?
I don't know.
Yeah, white walls.
Too, yeah.
White walls. That's all I ever known.
Curb feelers.
Sorry for distracting. But
1-800 curb feelers for kids.
That is the nature of this show.
1-800 curb feelers for kids. Senate has passed. I am so sad.
Uh-oh.
Disgusted.
In a kind of omnibus legislative vehicle that included both the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, and the Children and Teens Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA 2.0, 91-3. Only 3 senators opposed. One was Ron Wyden, which should tell you everything you need to know. If Ron Wyden is again it, I'm again it.
Yep.
But then Rand Paul was one of the other ones, so I don't know. Chuck Schumer, who ought to know better, called it a momentous day. The Senate keeps its promise to every parent who's lost a child because of the risks of social media. He called for the House to pass the bill as soon as they can. I'm speechless. We've fought this bill for years.
It's awful. I don't know what the fate is going to be in the House, though.
Well, one of the
that
reasons you get 91-3 is because it's a bipartisan thing. The right thinks social media is bad for censoring conservative voices. The left thinks social media is bad because Elon, and nobody is going to vote against something to protect the children.
Never.
Did you see the Alito story today on CNN?
No.
The majority was going to go against social media in the Supreme Court case. And Alito evidently pushed too much. And so the two Republicans switched sides. Then Alito got all mad and stomped off in a tantrum for
No, wait a minute.
vacation.
We
in
don't know
July.
this. This is all
That's what CNN says.
gossip. Okay.
CNN.
Okay. So did they? This was when they were deciding on the Texas and Florida social media laws. Okay.
Yeah.
Which they basically, I don't know. I wish Kathy Gellis were here. They sort of kind of threw out. Anyway, Marsha Blackburn, who is one of the co-sponsors,
This quote, man,
said, "We should be protecting minor children from the transgender in this culture." Oh, that's the big problem we got to protect children
That's
from.
exactly what this is all about. It's a way to go after. And the Democrats are being stupid because they're being used.
Dick Blumenthal on the other
It's
side
the biggest
says,
spill.
"We're simply creating an environment that's safe by design. At its core, as I said, at its core, this bill is a product design bill." You moron. You maroon. So what are the problems with COSA? One is age verification is inherently privacy violating for adults as well as kids. I mean, everybody has to age verify, right? Because otherwise, you have to prove you're not a kid. Companies all the time sell this snake oil to members of Congress and other politicians. Oh, no. Oh, we could do it with heat maps, or we could tell by just the shape of your head or something. But no, they're going to need an ID. They're going to, and if you don't
There's
provide
also growth plates in their kneecaps too.
I feel like someone sold this to them using AI, right? Like, we got AI. AI is going to fix this.
It's such an easy thing to target to say all our ills are because it's big tech, and we could fix this if we just slap big tech around. Marsha Blackburn says, while there are laws that protect children from buying alcohol, buying tobacco, buying pornography, the same kinds of protections are lacking on the internet. When you look at the social media platforms, there are no guardrails. So basically, there's a duty. So they're saying that social networks have a duty of care, which is a very vague. Is that a legal term that has some legal meaning?
Yes, it is, and it's part of the Online Harms, now Online Safety Act in the UK. Duty of care says you figure out what you're supposed to do, and if you don't do it, your ass is grass.
You must take, quote, reasonable measures. They don't say what reasonable measures are in how you design your product to mitigate online bullying. Look, I'm not in favor of online bullying or sexual exploitation or drug promotion or eating disorders. I'm not saying this should be going on, but putting the burden on social media to figure out how to do that without just saying, well, you got to do something reasonable. It also doesn't prevent platforms from letting minors search for specific content or providing resources to mitigate the listed harms, including evidence-informed information and clinical resources. One of the concerns is that if you're, a poor kid who's having some gender dysmorphia, not really sure what's going on, and you look for these resources, you'll be prevented now from finding somebody who can help you or talk to you. COSA requires safeguards for kids on the internet, like preventing unknown adults from communicating with kids. Again, great idea. How do you do it? Viewing their person. I think the problem I have with this is it's putting the government in place of parents.
Right.
This is what parents are supposed to do.
I want no part of that.
Restricting the ability to share minors' geolocation data, letting the accounts of children opt out of personalized recommendations, or at least limit recommendation categories. Platforms would need to default kids' accounts to the strictest level of privacy settings. That's fine. I agree with that. I mean, there's some things in this that make sense. Make it easy to delete their personal data, limit the time they spend on the service. They also would require parental control tools, allowing parents to view their child's privacy and account settings, restrict their purchases, limit how much time they spend. COPPA, which is based on the original COPPA 2.0, mostly just moves the age for the Online Privacy Act from under 13 to under 17. So don't you know,
which is ridiculous.
16-year-olds should not be staying up late, smoking cigarettes and talking trash. It would also ban targeted advertising to the kids covered by the bill. Oh, you know what? If we could just stop getting targeted ads to our kids, everything would be fine.
Right.
Well, that's the essence of what Shoshana Zuboff has done in demonizing advertising, which has been media forever.
And our own Shoshana Weissman, who works for Our Street, has written some very good opinion pieces on why this is unconstitutional, cannot work, will not work, and will in fact have and this is why it's upsetting to me, the opposite effect. That's the problem. It's the opposite of what they think they're agreeing to.
I think there's a problem now. Wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
So the House does have to pass it, but even if they do, there will be court challenges. NetChoice, which represents Google and other online groups, Meta, has already said they will sue, and they have sued in the past. They were the party in these Florida and the Texas Supreme Court cases. They argue that such a bill poses a risk to freedom of expression and will not withstand First Amendment scrutiny.
Depends
Although
on the court, though, and whether Alito is mad or not.
Yeah, it is going to, I'm sure, make its way to the Supreme Court. And remember that in their recent opinion, they said content moderation and curation are I don't know if this is good or bad, are a protected forms of expression.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
That says that my choice of what to carry is my expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in other words, the job that X or, and I don't want to protect Elon Musk in any way, form, or fashion, but at the same time, he is exercising his First Amendment rights to moderation. And no government body should be able to tell
you
me.
When you moderate your
I should be allowed to moderate our
Yes.
tech community at
Right.
twit.community, our forums, twit.social, our Mastodon. We now have many chats because we stream now to YouTube and the chat's there, and Twitch, the chat's there. We have our Discord chat. I would have to turn all of that off if, Section 530 were eliminated. 230. I think it's 3 times better, but anyway. At least twice as good. If 230 were eliminated, and gosh, do I have an obligation to check your age when you come into our chat room now?
And with Jammer B gone, we're going to be using potty words all the time.
Oh, you know what? We're good on that. He gave me a USB key with featuring his voice. Did you give me a variety of reads saying, "Hey, hey, hey"? So I will have that on a button on the Stream Deck.
I would have thought Jammer B would be a yo guy. Yo.
Can you give me some yos? No, hey is perfect because I know that he's mad when he says
that's
that.
true.
It's like, ooh,
that's true.
I'm in trouble.
You don't want to make Jammer B mad.
Yeah. Oh man, we're almost out of time, and we've just scratched the surface. Did you see Jensen Huang and Mark Zuckerberg exchanging leather jackets?
Which they've done twice now.
And they still can't find one that fits. It's amazing.
I didn't see this story. Where is that? Oh boy.
It's line 52, but I'm not going any farther with that one.
How much does the Jensen jacket cost? Did we determine that last week?
No, did we talk about it?
We did briefly.
Who's the guy on Twitter, on X, who does all the fashion stuff? He says, you'd think these billionaires could afford to get tailored jackets. Anyway, they had a nice little conversation at SIGGRAPH, but nothing important.
No.
Jensen Huang, who runs NVIDIA, said every single restaurant, every single website will probably in the future have these AIs, just like and this is probably true, just like every business has an email address and a website and a social media account. I think in the future, every business is going to have an AI. And of course, Mark's response was, and you're going to have a personal AI to interact with those. And I think I agree.
You know, by the way, I thought it was interesting that Jensen Huang, I think in the same conversation in the last week or so, he is positioning NVIDIA as a software company.
Which is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, they're widely used in the building of LLMs.
And today on AI Inside, we interviewed the head of product for Qualcomm AI. And I said, are you a software company or a hardware company? He said, we're an AI company.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think the NVIDIA being pushed as a software company is inaccurate? Or should they just now call themselves a silicon company?
It indicates something to me.
You know?
Well, that's hardware, right? I mean, so,
right.
And what struck me about it was that it's I guess it said that it's the kind of Reid Hoffman software eats the world that you want to position yourself there.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple got a lot of hate for the ad that squashed all the things we use to create beautiful music and art and turn it into an iPad. Now Google's getting a little bit of the same for their ad, their AI ad about the Olympics. Can I show this or no?
You should be able to show that. Just turn the volume
You can
down.
show it with. I think it's got captions, so you don't have to have the sound.
All right, I'll turn the captions on. It's the voice of a dad, always been a runner, just like me. Mwah. She says, I've always thought she was following in my footsteps. Hey, go get him, baby. She's been, obviously, we're talking about an Olympian, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone.
And she is.
Who
awesome.
is.
So the little girl is a great fan of the Olympian.
Go, Sydney. I love you. And like Sydney, she's focused on her technique. But it's sure helpful that she's got an AI overview telling her everything like eat more rocks and Elmer glue your shoes onto your feet.
But
of course,
it's more than that. When the daughter wanted to write a letter to Sydney, have AI write the letter.
Why should I learn how to write when I can have my little
or
AI
help my daughter
pal?
do it? Right.
Right. Sorry, not sorry. Let's write a fan letter to Sydney. Just like you. And of course, Google has turned off, as you can see here. Comments are turned off. And I'll tell you why.
People had a fit.
They were pretty negative.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd seen those.
Let me see if I can.
Oh, you can see them on Twitter, Ant. They're all over the tweets.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's probably they're on the tweets.
Let me look it up.
The Apple iPad commercial and the Google Gemini AI commercial are different versions of the same thing. They both give the same feeling that something is very off, a sort of tone deafness to the valid concerns and fears of the majority. Both spots developed by the companies in-house. That's Michael Miraflor on Twitter. I think that's probably the best way to say it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's just tone deaf. It's like, you're scaring the hell out of people. This is not how you should be promoting these products.
But it's interesting. I happen to be writing the typewriter chapter for my next book on the linotype, and there was a similar concern about typewriters when they came, that it was going to mechanize writing, that it was inhuman and impersonal, and you shouldn't use machine to write. And Sears, I got this little bit from Daniel Burston book, for years after the typewriter, and after it was in businesses all over, Sears still insisted on sending handwritten letters to its customers because it didn't want to insult its customers who would think that Sears thought that they couldn't read handwriting.
Interesting. Well, it is more personal. I still will handwrite notes when I can. I handwrote you to know, I think. I still handwrite some notes because there is something about it that makes it extra special. You took the time to
I agree.
Uncap a pen.
I agree.
It's the worst thing that I could do to anyone because my handwriting is god awful.
I practice it.
It's illegible.
I practice it. Yeah.
Did you do well in Palmer handwriting?
No, I was terrible because I'm a lefty, and the teacher always yelled at me. Yeah. And I dragged my fist through the ink and all sorts of things. But I have learned, it was actually a good practice because I did that Hoffman thing where we did a lot of journaling every day, lots of handwriting. And I learned my handwriting's not bad if I slow down, but I don't try to write it as fast as I can. and think about the letters. And actually, I have better hand, so I'm able now to write letters. But it's long. It takes an hour to write.
You stick your tongue out while you do it?
Mm-hmm. Dear Olympic athlete. I think this would be a good time for us to pause. And when we come back, if you would like, Ann, I know you've probably forgotten that we do this, but I wouldn't mind a pick if you've got one. Prepare it.
I think
you put something in
down
there.
here. Hold on.
Same thing for you, Jeffrey. You're watching this week in Google. Paris will be back next week. Jeff will not.
Oh, shoot.
What are you doing?
Well, no, I think I will now.
Oh, you changed.
I'm going to be at a journalism educators conference. So I just looked at the sky.
You could do it from the hotel. Okay, that's fine.
It ends at 3:30, so I can get to the hotel.
Okay, I would love that, only because it is the last show from the studio.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, we are doing something special that only a handful of you will be able to watch. On Sunday, Alex Lindsay is working with Stream Voodoo to produce a Vision Pro version of This Week in Tech, all live in studio. I know.
Oh, wow.
I know. All live in studio. You need to go to Stream Voodoo and sign up and get, the beta version of their software. It's streamvoodoo.com. Join the beta right here and put the software on your Vision Pro. And then it will be like you're in here in person. It's so weird? I thought, because the last time we did this, Alex brought in a $60,000 3D camera. And I thought, well, he's going to bring in some fancy gear. He's shooting it with an iPhone.
Multiple iPhones?
No.
Just one?
Just one. That's all you need.
Interesting. Well, he understands that tech, though.
Oh, he does. That's his thing. All right, we're going to have more in just a moment. Picks of the week coming up. I will see you, I hope, on Sunday for wear your head nerd helmet, and I'll be able to see you. Actually, Gary asked to come in and wear his nerd helmet in the studio. He could, if you want. I think they told you no, but since you have a nerd helmet, anybody who owns a nerd helmet can come in. And you don't need to, though. That's the beauty of it. You can watch it at home, and it's as if you're here, I think. Are you yet a member of the club, dear listener, dear viewer? I hope you are. The club is important in a lot of ways to us. On the one hand, of course, it's financially vital to our continued survival as advertisers and advertising dollars dwindle, and frankly, audience goes down too. We need additional revenue, so we don't have to fire people. We are closing down the studio, but we're hoping we can continue on with your help. We can, but it's not just that. It's also you're joining a community, and that one of the things I think is very exciting about TWiT 4.0 is we are going to focus on community and having you be part of our shows, part of what we're doing, and if you're in the club, you'll have much easier access to all of that. So you also we give you benefits like ad-free versions of the shows. You're paying us, so we're not going to show you ads. You also get special versions of the shows that right now are in public only as audio. We have video of Hands on Macintosh, Hands on Windows, Untitled Linux Show, Scott Wilkinson's Home Theater Geeks, iOS Today, and more. So you'll be able to watch those as well as listen to them. Special events like Stacy's Book Club. I think we're going to do more and more in the club, ad hoc broadcasts, reviews. That will be something you'll have access to through our Club TWiT Discord, which is where the community gets together. It's really a lot of fun. We're very proud of the community we've built here, and we want you to join it. $7 a month. You can pay more if you feel like it. twit.tv/club TWiT, and I thank you in advance. We really appreciate all our club members. Now, Mr. Ant Pruitt, what is this camera you are using to take pictures?
I found a pic.
Okay.
I'm putting it in the rundown right
I would
now.
like this. Did you see the picture of the Canon support shelving for the Olympics?
Man, all those R1s and all of those $15,000 lenses, just right. Oh gosh.
It's
I'd say Nerd Gavin.
Petapixel called it Canon Heaven.
Nerdgasm.
Now, do you get to just take like one of those off the shelves? It's Canon Professional Services.
Yeah, CPS.
Wow.
That. Oh my gosh! All of the people at the Olympics are just.
You know why it's good for Canon though? Canon lenses are distinctive. That gray color.
Yeah.
You see them on the sidelines of major sporting events, and it's a way of saying, yeah, we kind of own these.
So what's the deal? Is it for Canon employees, or they loan them out to journalists, or why do they have?
It's the sports journalists out there for the Olympics. This is perfect timing because they just announced their latest flagship camera. They tend to do that usually around the Olympics each time.
Wow.
And they announced some more lenses too.
So that is your pick.
No, that ain't my pick. You're on the wrong line. What line are you on?
Oh, what is your pick?
My pick is that old lens that you just clicked on.
This one, not a new one.
Yeah.
But a beaut. The 400 millimeter
lens.
Oof.
Mine died. And I realized,
had this lens?
Yeah, that thing was old, but man, I freaking loved it. And I realized how much I loved it when I needed it this past weekend. And the pictures came out great, but that old lens, there's still some value in it. And I highly recommend people that have that can afford some old Canon glass and
This
you're
is
interested in
actually
shooting wildlife or
not
sports.
that expensive, refurbished.
Exactly.
It's $800.
It's $800.
Which you may say, well, that's a lot, but if the camera costs $3,000,
oh my gosh!
and this lens probably costs 10 times that.
Yeah,
new.
The new lens is about $12,000.
Okay,
but that
Even
right
more.
there,
wow,
that lens is old, but man, it still looks good. And if you go to line 150, that is an image that I shot with that lens. And
you shoot a lot of sports,
right? If you want to shoot sports or wildlife, that 400 millimeter is a freaking steal.
By the way, the bokeh on that is beautiful.
Yes, 5.6 f5.6.
That's amazing. It's because it's so long.
The
You're so
long
far
compression.
away. Yeah,
yeah. So that's definitely my pick.
That is gorgeous.
And also, I want to tell folks to follow my ZDNet stuff that I'm writing over there.
This is what you're reviewing?
Thank you to Mr. Jason Heiner. I get to have fun playing with cameras in general. This is an old Canon camera because I don't necessarily.
We're using the M200 in the new studio. That's
a good one?
Yeah, that's kind of a vlogging camera. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be my over-the-shoulder shot. You know how I like to show stuff?
Webcam.
It's going to be
HDMI out.
It has HDMI, so it's on a mic arm, so I can do it like a dentist. Like I can say, aim it and then shoot down and stuff.
It is a damn good camera.
That was, I think, Anthony Nielsen came up with that.
M200 is a damn good camera for web, but this is a basically a point and shoot, and it's a PowerShot V10.
Do they still make those?
This thing, but they're aiming it more towards vlogging people. I'm not a vlogger, but I like what they're doing with this little kickstand here.
You reviewed the ZV-1 too.
I have that, and I haven't done it yet.
That is a vlogging.
I have it at the house, but I haven't opened it yet. But yes, so check me out on ZDNet. And again, thank you to Mr. Jason Heiner for continuing to give me a shot and let me just write and create and play with cameras. And and thank you to Canon because, again, I'm not one of those big influencers that wants to get the R1 the data that comes out. I think those are bull crap.
Hey, Camera B's still there. Respect.
I hate watching those videos and reading those reviews because you had the camera for 10 minutes. What do you really know about it?
Yeah.
So
it takes time to really appreciate a camera.
Right. So I never rush to it, and my contact at Canon, they get that, and I'm fine with that.
Nice.
So
the ZDNet. Wonderful, the legendary, the one and only Ant Pruitt, antpruitt.com, ANTPRUITT.
That's me.
His socials are at antpruitt.com/social. His prints are at antpruitt.com/prints.
Yep.
And you even have jigsaw puzzles. You sent me one. They're too hard.
I'm waiting on y'all to get that assembled, man.
It's too hard. We're going to do it.
I was like, this is a perfect challenge for the TWiT family because everybody's so smart. I'm going to make a puzzle out of a photograph that no one should make a puzzle out of.
Because it all kind of blends together. You're killing me. It's like you're trying to torture me.
For those who don't know, the puzzle is a astrophotography shot of mine. And most of the image is 2/3 the Milky Way.
Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, that's just what I want. A 1,000-piece puzzle of the Milky Way.
2/3 of the Milky Way. So
it's beautiful. Is it this one?
No, that's not it.
That's not it. You have some good
It's called
astrophotography.
Skyfire.
Some beautiful. There it is.
Skyfire.
Yeah, I see this. I'm getting PTSD just looking at it.
That's more than 2/3 sky. But
That every piece looks the same. So you want a puzzle that you can never solve? Every piece has one white dot on it. I'm going to kill you, Aunt Pruitt.
I figured Jammer B would have been all over
500 pieces. Oh, I didn't even think of setting it up here. Yeah. I took it home.
I figured he would have been all over it.
Oh, we could have
had it done in a weekend. It's not too late.
All right. We got 1 week in the studio. I'll bring it out. We'll try to solve it.
Did you know that there is speed puzzling?
Really?
That takes the fun out of it. You should be relaxed when you're puzzling.
A lot of these puzzle makers, they use the same jigs to cut the puzzles. So you can put 2 different puzzles together.
That's an interesting concept.
Oh, really? You can put a bunch of them, because they all use the same template.
Yeah, actually, if I look at the pieces, well, no, that's just because of the way they showed the picture. Your pieces are not all the same. That's cool. It'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? To make a puzzle of 3 different images?
Yeah, it'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
And they're all the same jigs. I didn't know that. Interesting. But thank you for the plug, sir.
Thank you for everything. You're the best. Mr. Jeff Jarvis, what you got for us?
Well, let's see here.
Jeff always puts like 12 different links. We really should put them all in.
No, you don't want to do that. No, I find something better, and then I just don't take the old ones out. Plus, it's my memory. I put things there for, when I get old.
Do you want a TikTok, a tech dirt?
I could. I think
large
we were talking
language
about
model?
being brat last week.
Yes.
And one of my favorite accents of yours is the Scottish. So I think we have to have a little Scottish.
So good.
Do you know about brat? And you know about brat, right? The new album.
I'm trying to figure it out through you all in Miss Paris. So no.
It's was it Cardi B who did brat? I forgot.
No, it was Charlie.
Charlie XCX.
Who the hell is that? I don't know.
It's a song, and it was a green album, and now it's a thing. I texted my son. You remember during the show?
Oh, yeah. Did he answer?
That's right. Yeah, he did. Let me read you his response.
Because you only said like one word in a question mark, right?
I said, wait a minute, where did I say? Where is it? Okay, I sent drip ?
Drip. That was.
And then brat ? And then he said, "Ha, are you doing a Gen Z slang quiz?" And I say, "Yep." And he did say, now he's 30 now, or will be in a couple of weeks. Drip definitely gets thrown around in conversation, unironically. Brat is like brand new. It's not even an adjective or descriptor, really. It's a very vague. People just say Brat Summer because they love this album that came out called Brat. And he was very impressed with how. Now remember, Henry, for those who don't know, is a TikTok celebrity. He's got
so awesome.
2.5 million followers for his TikTok. He calls it now ASMR cooking.
Yeah.
But he was very impressed with how quickly Kamala's marketing team got on that.
Yeah.
And got on TikTok and really nailed it. And I know he's serious because he says every time I see him, "Your social is awful, Dad. Your social sucks so bad." So what are you talking about? It's vertical. It's got big text.
I got MySpace. What are you saying?
"Dad, let me do it." All right. So this is a Scots talking about.
This is a language lesson in brat. Of course, your sound is not up. Sigh.
It is though. It is. I promise you. We didn't check sound, Benito, before we began.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't hear it here.
Yeah.
Benito, can you play it?
No, he's trying.
Yeah, let me get it lit up on my side.
Oh, forget it. It's not that good.
It's not that good.
It's not worth it.
It would set off Leo.
I'll do it. Wait a minute. I'll do it for you. Hello.
You can't match her. You cannot
Hello,
match her.
and a very warm welcome to my girlies, my brats, and my besties. I appear to have misunderstood what the meaning of brat summer means. Please allow me to. Oh, that's coming out of the wrong hole. That's why. Oh, I can fix this.
allow me to.
Wait a minute. I want to hit her. Okay, now we're going to do it. Now we're going to do it.
And I love the Scottish accent.
See how close I was.
She's great. She's great.
Now you should have it, Benito. No?
Nope.
This is a technology show.
I hate
If you have any questions
technology.
about how to do technology,
I'm going to vote in favor of
Leo
COSA.
Just don't open the terminal, please.
Let's go to the terminal. No, it's not my
right.
fault now. It's their fault. John's
We
going
can
over.
go to line 78 then.
This, by
This
the
is
way,
just
the
cool.
new audio chain in my attic is completely impenetrable to me. I have
Oh, this is going to be
no
fun.
idea.
You're gonna mess
This
this
is going to
up.
be
I have
fun.
no idea how this works. And it's all on me. There's not going to be a John to come over and say, well, you just fish. It's not.
You
I
idiot.
have no idea what's going on. We're going to have many rehearsals. All right. Yeah. What other? Give me another.
Line 78. It's a visual.
Yeah, watch, because Scott's stuff will come out of the speaker pretty soon, I think. But anyway. All right. Visual. Visual
This is
we
cool.
can handle,
This
I
is somebody
think.
tied a MIDI controller to generative AI art.
This sounds like
So
Jason
you can
Howell.
pot.
Yeah, that sounds like this came from AI inside the show that you do. Oh, look, they've got sliders. Oh, he's
So
got
what's happening
faders.
is the red brick building is becoming flowery, all green, but in a range,
Ooh.
which is cool. On
That
fire.
is, that's very cool.
I wonder if you could do something like that with Loop Deck.
I bet you could if you knew what you were doing and you were really smart and you could write software code.
Well, I mean, Loop Deck ties into a lot of different apps already.
You could make your music like you could have beats and the AI illustrations to the beats.
No, you know Loop Deck is not a music device, right?
Oh, no, what is Loop Deck?
It's an editing console.
That was just one step from bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
I was right there. You're right. I was right.
He
there.
was right there. Oh, Loop Deck. Well, it sounds like loops is music, right?
Yeah, it's called Loop Deck. But it's an editing console. You use it for mostly photography, but you can also edit video.
Oh, yeah, I remember
with it.
this. Yeah.
But they tie into a lot of different packages.
So it's kind of like the Stream Deck, and I wonder if my Stream Deck would work with that.
Yeah.
I got the Stream Deck with knobs, and I got the red knobs. You get your choice of
fancy.
colors.
Fancy.
Well, it's just MIDI control, so any MIDI.
Any MIDI control.
Any
will
MIDI,
work.
yeah.
Okay, let's try the Scottish lady one more time.
Okay.
She's turned all the way up. She's coming out of the right hole.
Yeah,
She
I have it
says, it
turned up here
appears the
too.
correct definition of brat is a girl who's a little messy and lacks to party and maybe says some dumb things sometimes. It always has been my deeply held belief that girlies deserve nothing more than the highest level of linguistic accuracy. I have scoured the Scots language to find you a word that I feel represents brat. I'm sure I'm Clip Mumbador. Okay.
Now you've lost the word.
I don't know what the word is. Anyway, okay. Watch it on
Okay,
TikTok
fine.
and enjoy. We leave it as an exercise for the listener.
Thank you for the show notes.
Thank you for the show notes. Mr. Jeff Jarvis is the Emeritus Director of the Town Night Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York.
Thank you, Craig, for coming on today. About
That was
5
really
hours ago.
fun to have
fun.
him on, wasn't it? That was really sweet.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Aunt Pruitt is a creator, a photographer, and a model for hire. AuntPruitt.com. Great
Yes,
to
sir.
see you both.
Thank you.
Good to see you, friend.
You too, sir.
And I know he's not talking to me.
You too, Mr. Jarvis, and you too, Mr. Laporte.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks especially to our Club TWiT members who make this show possible. Tune in next week, our last week. It'll be our very last show in the East Side Studios as we move to the Attic Studios. It's funny because I'm moving into the Attic Studio and Micah's moving into a basement studio.
Oh, really?
So that should be really intriguing. I don't know how that's going to work.
Interesting.
But this next week, we'll be able to say, sadly, goodbye. And, of course, don't forget Sunday, our special Vision Pro version of This Week in Tech. We do Twig, and we'll continue to do Twig every Wednesday around about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. The live streams now are There are literally 7 different ways you can watch us live. If you're a club member, watch in Discord. YouTube, youtube.com/twit/live. We've turned on the chat there. We may regret it, but so far so good. Twitch.tv/twit. We've turned on the chat there. I know we're going to regret that. We're on Kick, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X.com. The weird thing is, I think you can chat on. I don't really understand how X.com works.
Yeah, it has.
We have 328 people supposedly watching.
Yeah, you can chat in there.
But nobody says anything. Hello. So I'm just saying hello into the void. Maybe someday somebody will say something back. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next week on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.